Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this very special, intimate episode of the Three Can Play podcast. My name is Shamikh Acclimator. I'm joined by my friend, Brad Crabley Crab. And,
You're going to do our boy Nick like that?
well, Nick's not feeling great today. He's having an off day. He's looking a little pale, under the weather.
Yeah.
So instead, we've got our friend Ethan on the mic. Ethan, say hi.
Hello.
That's Ethan.
Yeah, that was Ethan.
That's Ethan.
But he's not important enough to get a place on the couch. That is still reserved. This is Nick's spot. So even when Nick physically isn't here.
Nah, fuck Nick. I was going to
He's
say
here.
bring Ethan, but he has to do Ethan stuff, so.
Well,
I gotta
using
make
that
sure
as
we
the-
all sound
yeah,
good.
The real reason he's not sitting there is because of
Yep.
technical stuff. But if that wasn't the issue, Nick, I would make sure your spot was saved.
I have a question for everyone watching. Who's watching? Ethan?
Normal's here, and he says cut your hair.
Quality content.
I like my hair. I have a question for everyone watching. Would you, oh, thank you. Actually, by the way, before I ask my question,
Sure.
so remember how we were talking last week about, what's his name? Perks and Cav switching roles? They actually did it.
See, I don't believe it.
Oh, yeah? Oh, you
That-
still
they
think they're
troll
memeing?
all the
Ah,
fucking
true.
time,
Okay,
bro.
fair.
They troll all. I don't believe a
I-
single thing that comes from any of their Twitter accounts
Okay.
or the official G2 one.
Okay.
If they do,
I didn't look it up on Twitter. I just saw it on Reddit.
if they
so.
do, that'll be definitely interesting. But I will believe it when day one of LEC comes out and they're playing their respective
True.
roles
Okay, fair enough.
because those guys.
I
are
didn't even think
trolls.
about that.
Yeah.
Normal asks very angrily,
Oh god.
How do you know it's angrily?
Because it's probably all caps.
in all caps and like 17 times. Brad, are you angry at him?
Of course.
Okay. He also said that he would not say anything else after that, so that's why I'm asking.
Nice. Thank you. Thanks for saving
There
our
is
chat.
a rage filled that cannot be cleansed until.
So speaking of normal, actually, we played Clash, or I played one day of Clash on Sunday. Saturday I was
you
busy.
guys also played the previous weekend.
Yeah.
You never talked about that, but you guys have been killing it.
I have been killing it.
Oh.
The
You got some smack talk for your teammates?
Yeah. Speaking of normal, so he had to jungle last time. He had a stellar game. Really carried the team to our
This is sarcasm I said.
defeat, I guess.
Who
It's
did you
okay.
play?
I don't blame him. He played Elise.
He's hard.
Jungle is hard.
I feel like I don't know. And again, like this is anecdotal from a like silver/gold player, but I feel like Elise is pretty hard to pull off like mid to late game like really well.
Yeah. The problem
Like team fighting with Elise can be tough.
with like the jungle role is that the role is so dependent on other roles knowing how to interact with the jungle.
Yeah.
And because sorry Ethan, this is gonna bore you for a second because I'm
That's fine.
gonna talk about League for a bit.
No worries.
Like, it's so hard to get out of like. For me personally, I don't know about like other people, but me personally, it's so hard to. Like I think there's like a barrier that prevents me from stepping. Like I play mid, so like stepping into the next level, in coordinated play, which is like properly interacting with my jungler, and it's not just about like invading together or like getting the scuttle together. Like those are like the basics of jungling. Like there is. I'm sure I don't need to tell you, but like I feel.
Well, just controlling vision.
But yeah, even besides that though, I feel like you and your jungler have to be on the same page, like as far as tempo goes, like resets go, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like there's so many different things that I don't even know how to really verbalize, but I can tell like intuitively that there's so much depth to the synergy between the jungler and the other roles on the map that it's just a different style of playing the game.
And I think a big problem with like solo queue at our level is that people, unless a gank's happening, you don't really like care about what you're doing with
which
your
is
jungler.
stupid.
You're like
You should always-
you only care about that synergy during a gank, which
Yeah.
is like 1/10 of the jungle's
Yep.
purpose.
Exactly.
Like as soon as the jungler leaves the lane and is no longer ganking, you don't pay
Yeah.
attention to them, right? Which is not how you should
No.
play, but that's usually just kind of how our elo is.
It's really a learning process for me to understand that it's my responsibility to facilitate. Like I have to control certain parts of the map. It's my job.
Yeah, you have to bring
you
your
know?
pressure with you, or
Exactly.
else your jungler will like
Yeah.
get invaded on or just lose out on vision. etc.
It's been a learning process,
Yeah.
but
League
which
is
is
a complex
which is
game.
why I'm now like trying to. I want to really learn jungle and top lane now, because I'm really fast. One, top lane because I haven't really played top a lot, and I want to like really round out my top lane. And jungle because I want to learn the game. Like, I've been watching. Remember I talked about Korean solo queue in the car.
Yeah,
The main dude I watch is Rush.
Rush is hilarious.
He's like Okay, I'm not really talking about him, but I guess I'll talk about his gameplay. He's good, better than me, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
At the game, right? So, and he plays jungle. I don't like. There's a lot to learn just by watching him, and just trying to understand. Like, even if you have his chat muted, or him muted, which sometimes I have to do because, like, he has these weird like swings where he just becomes a memer, or he just like.
He was with C9 for a while.
Sometimes he's like trying to be really serious and like professional, and other times he's, which I don't like either. Like, he just has like, no offense, Rush, buddy, but I just have
He
to.
just swings too much to either way.
Yeah.
Kind of needs to.
There's no
middle out.
stability.
Yeah.
I just need to mute him. But just watching him play, and not him, but watching the rest of his teammates, because it's like top 200 Korean solo queue.
Everyone knows what they're doing.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
so interesting. It's so fascinating to watch how, like, unspoken, like, no one has to ping, no one has to know, like, there are constantly people diving like level 3, 4
They just know
top
what
lane.
the right play
Yeah,
is.
it's so interesting to watch. Which
Much
is
different
one of the
from
reasons I
what we
want to learn
play.
jungle, because I want to. I don't know, because no one in our group really jungles
Yeah.
as a main. You don't know anyone who jungles as a main, do you?
Not in our group, no. Jungle was usually to the person who didn't care as much about their role
Mhm.
preference, so they would just fill.
Yeah, I really want to learn like the macro game of the jungle, because I feel like I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah. It's a lot to learn.
And I feel like a good jungler just jungle difference,
Yeah.
just wins the game.
Live
So,
and die by a good jungler.
we
Or
are
a
doing
jungler.
well in Clash though. I think our overall record is 5-2 or something.
That's solid.
That is solid.
Getting any good rewards, or did they not hand them out yet?
The first day when I went 3-0, I got an icon, a skin shard,
Oh, really?
an emote,
That's pretty cool.
a ward skin. That's it. And then the second day I don't remember what I got yesterday
Yeah.
or Sunday, whenever we played.
Inshard's pretty cool,
Yep.
though.
I started off as tier 3 or tier 4 in Clash. After that first week, I went up to tier 3. So our team tier went up. We're playing in tier 2 now. Still pretty easy. The games aren't like super difficult. I think it's like, it's interesting. It's a lot of fun,
Yeah.
because it makes you realize like there's a lot more to the game than what you just think there is, like,
Just-
especially in competitive and coordinated environment.
Yeah. That's
So-
the thing, is when you have 5 people on comms, like, the whole game
Yeah.
changes.
And it's really interesting too, because I think everyone has a different idea of how to play the game, and like what they want to do and what they are trying to prioritize, and it's like you kind of have to like think about like you have to reconcile like everyone's needs and desires in the game, and like kind of trying to make that into a win condition.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
And you have to, like, kind of learn what parts of the map you have to sacrifice, because not everybody can get everything. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
You gotta decide, like, at what time which lane or which position should sacrifice so that another one can flourish, etc., etc.
I will say, I think I was calling for, if normally you're still watching, I was a little pushy, I think.
Going for
And-
ganks.
Yeah. I didn't.
You're the worst kind of
honestly,
laner.
honestly, I don't.
Yank my
No, I wasn't like that. It was
jungler.
never like that. But it was like, I think it was like a little bit like aggressive, like, yo, it's free kills if you come mid kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, this guy literally has been pushing all game, no sums. Free is kill if you come to my lane.
That's kind of where I was at.
God, I hate people. who
Not
say
gonna lie.
that.
Like, I don't think it was being as much of a douchebag,
Yeah.
but there was definitely that tone implied to it.
Literally the freest kill.
Yeah, because it was a brand, and it was
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
was Elise and Cassidon. I was Cassidon into brand,
Yeah.
so it was like decent kill pressure.
Get a cocoon, you just
But-
jump on him, he's dead,
And then so we lost that game. That was the first game we played. And so if you lose
This
the
was
first game
yesterday?
on
Or
Sunday,
Sunday?
yeah.
Sorry.
So if you lose the first game you play, you go into consolation. It's
So
a
like a losers
consolation
bracket?
And it's not really losers bracket. It's just a consolation bracket. You don't get to go back up.
Oh,
If
okay.
you, yeah.
So it's just like you get to keep playing sort of thing?
Yeah. So you don't just play one game.
Yeah.
Everyone's guaranteed at least 2 games. That's the primary reason, I imagine.
Okay.
And then I kind of trolled in the 2 consolation games we played, because I was like so defeated. I didn't want to say it out loud, but I probably should have. or I should have acknowledged the feeling in the moment, tried to work past it then.
Yeah.
But next time I'll do that.
Inted?
Hmm?
You inted?
I didn't ant, but
Did you whip out the infamous criddle sticks?
no.
Oh, okay.
Dude, are you ever gonna get over that?
Never.
Bro, stop holding the grudge. It's been like how many years has it been since I've done that?
Like a year, maybe. I'm never gonna let it go.
Okay. Whatever. Free rent, dude. Or
True.
whatever, rent free, whatever it's called. Anyways, so yeah. I played and then I played Vlad, and then I played I think I played Ori.
The go-to pocket pick.
Yeah, Ori's not that strong right now.
Yeah.
Myru's always
But she's
pretty
she's
good.
like she's always like a good pick.
Yeah. Last time we played, the last day I played, I had 2 deaths in 3 games. I went like 8-1, 7-0, and 9-1.
Okay, big man.
And like big assists. Yeah, that was definitely my best performance in the league in a long time. It was some fun games.
That's right.
And then this week, I don't know what happened this week. I think I just wasn't able to carry. Like, that first game kind of tilted me, which is tough because like I don't want to be tilted because like
So just don't tilt.
It-
Isn't that the advice you give us?
it's hard. No, it's I say don't. Okay, yeah, but like that's what I mean is like don't tilt at others.
Oh
You know?
yeah.
Like don't let other people like just mute chat.
Yeah.
Like don't, or at least don't pay attention to chat. Don't let it
Yeah.
trigger you. You know. But yeah, like I was tilted because I wasn't able to do anything that game, and it felt so bad. That's like the worst when like you're just like, because I knew I wasn't playing. Like I play Cassidy in that game, and Cassidy's power spike comes after like you need to get like tier catalyst at least, and like pen boots, or like tier raw pen boots is usually when you're like you can look to make plays.
Yeah.
And I honestly don't know what I did that game. I didn't do anything. I wasn't proactive really, like thinking back, looking back at it. I wasn't like, like I was tired too that night
Yeah.
because of a lot, like I don't know why I was just super tired, but I don't know.
Yeah, you can't win them all.
Yeah, that's true.
You definitely can. You just got to be better.
True.
Factual.
True.
Actually, that's the right mentality. I like that.
From Big Fat Turd 94.
Dude, when are you
Now
ever gonna get
banned.
back on League? Ever?
Never.
No? God damn it.
It's too much work. Just to grind to level 30
You ever
to
play
play
like
for
ARAM or anything?
I did, but
Or like
why would I want to play a
Like a f-
game
yeah.
where I can't control who I am when I'm only good at like one person?
Okay, fair
It just
enough.
doesn't make sense.
No.
Fair enough. But it's like playing random in Smash. You just do it for the lulz. That's what I do, you know?
I just don't know enough about the
Mm,
game.
Okay, that's fair.
Too much time.
It's a lot
investment.
of.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
a
I
it
don't
is.
have
lot
time.
It is,
to
yeah,
get
it
into.
is. It is.
I literally bought so many games during the Steam sale, and I've played one.
Speaking of which, it's coming back on Thursday.
The
Again?
Christmas
The
one.
Christmas sale. Dude, I don't know why. They had like the
Fall?
Halloween sale,
Oh,
quickly
yeah.
followed up by the autumn sale. And then they had a like brief sale for the
Winter.
Game Awards, and then the
Mm.
winter sale's coming up. It's like within like a month and a half, Steam's had like 4 sales.
Insane.
But yeah, winter sale starts on the 19th.
I want to get Their Billions.
They're billions. Why do I know the name of that?
It's like the RTS where like the world has ended and you defend against like a horde of billions of zombies.
oh, okay.
The last like the
Oh
last
yeah,
human
yeah, I know
settlement
exactly.
kind
Yeah,
of
I
thing.
know what you're
Interesting.
talking about.
Yep. So yeah, that's what I've been doing, playing / I guess. Just
Cool.
kind of rambled there. But
That's all right. Ethan, do you want to add to what you've been playing at all? Or do you want me
yeah,
just to
let's
go
hear
ahead?
it.
Yeah, I haven't really had too much time to play a lot, just with work and stuff. But I bought a bunch of games on, I forget which sale it was because they were
One
so
of the
close
many.
together. I got XCOM 2.
Nice.
I've never played either of them, but my
So,
work buddy was
Is
like,
it
"Yeah,
what-
get
is
it."
that Deus Ex? Is that what it's called?
Deus Ex.
A Deus Ex?
What about Deus Ex?
Is that XCOM or am I getting
No,
it mixed
no,
up?
No.
completely different game.
Okay.
You ever played any Deus Ex games?
No.
Ooh.
Are they both tactical shooters or
Nope.
am I just completely
Deus
mixing
Ex is
stuff?
like a bit of a tactical element to it, but it's
Okay.
not. It's
So,
not like
but XCOM is
turn-based.
XCOM
No.
is the turn-based one?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. What's the name of this one? Is it just 2?
Just
Enemy Unknown?
XCOM 2, I think.
Is it not
I
XCOM
don't
2
know.
Enemy Unknown, or is it XCOM the first one Enemy Unknown? I'm not sure.
Because I will
not
when
sure.
we talk about Game Awards, I will be bringing up XCOM.
Cool.
So
I'll
have
check.
you played it yet?
I have not.
Okay.
That's
What
one of the
made
games I
you-
bought.
What made you want to get it?
Just Jeremy from work was like,
Oh, okay.
this game's on sale and it's really good and it's turn-based and you don't like turn-based games, but it's really good, so you're probably gonna hate it, but I want you to play it because I like
Oh,
it.
need to
man.
meet the Jeremy dude.
Sorry.
I need. You know, the first thing I'm gonna do when I meet Jeremy is like
So how
lift up his armpits and like
Don't
do
do that.
spread other orifices and just be like, "Where's this horseshoe?" Hello.
Oh, true.
From
With
a-
the shiny and stuff.
Yeah,
up his ass? You have to go digging
Mm.
for that.
that's a
This
little
one is
extreme.
apparently just called XCOM 2.
Okay.
XCOM 2.
So
Okay.
maybe the first one was called Enemy Unknown.
So I got that. I got.
Yo, they redesigned Steam. I hate it.
What do you mean?
I like it.
I don't like change. Bring back the old Steam.
It looks so much cleaner.
I think so too.
Now I have to relearn everything.
What do you mean relearn? It's still like all your
Oh,
games
yeah?
are there.
Okay.
You can still do like list form if you don't like the images, but it has like a feature of like what your friends have been playing.
I don't care
stuff like
about that. I don't
which
care
your
about
most recent play
social
stuff.
integration. Ew, disgusting. Get that out of my face.
Your negativity. What else did you buy, Ethan?
So the full thing of what I bought is
Holy shit, that's a long list.
this is full purchase history. This isn't just my
I thought
receipt.
this was from the
This
sale.
is from no, you're looking
I
at
was
from like
like-
2017.
I was like,
forward.
holy shit, Ethan bought the whole freaking store.
No. I bought Far Cry New Dawn Deluxe Edition with all the DLC
Is
and
that-
crap.
Wait, is that the fifth Far Cry or sixth?
It's like the
It's-
expansion to the 5th.
Oh, it's like
Yeah.
Blood Dragon kind of thing.
Sorta, yeah. It's smaller, but it's in that.
What's the theme of
game.
it? Does it have a theme, or is it just an expansion to the fifth
Like,
game?
isn't it like post the nukes?
Yeah, so it's like post the nukes, but also post like everything being dead.
So it's like kind of like
things are coming
society
back.
being back, reforming and stuff.
Yeah, you're
Shit.
coming out of the shelters and stuff. And
Yeah.
it's pretty fun so far.
Post apocalyptic.
Yeah.
Post apocalyptic, yeah, exactly.
That's cool.
I bought XCOM with all the DLC and stuff. XCOM 2, sorry. Overcooked and Overcooked 2.
Nice.
Those games are so fucking fun.
I did start playing Overcooked 2 a little bit, but I was playing it on my laptop at work, so it was like really
Okay.
janky and not optimized.
Does it have online co-op? Do you know?
Which
the
one?
second one?
I'm not
Overcooked?
sure. Not sure.
'Cause if it does, I might grab it on the Steam sale so we can play together.
I'm down.
You also got DayZ Livonia.
That wasn't on sale. That was just
Oh,
day one release,
okay.
which I also have played a little bit. I want to play more, but just need more time. But what I have been playing is Far Cry New Dawn, which so far I'm really enjoying. I didn't play Blood Dragon, so I don't really know how to compare it, but just in general as a Far Cry game, it's really good. I got it
Nice.
for 60% off, so it was like under $30, which is I thought really good.
Yeah.
I read a comment about when reading a Far Cry thread like a couple weeks ago, maybe a couple days ago,
Okay.
and like I didn't know I needed this, or I had this feeling about Far Cry until I read this comment. The guns have all been the same since like Far Cry 3.
A lot of them are the same, yeah.
They need to like switch the guns up.
They've made a few new ones. In this game, in New Dawn, it's so basically how it's been in all the other Far Cry games is like you unlock them and then you just buy them. But in this game, you need to salvage parts. There's no like currency. It's all just
Oh.
like, oh, there's gears, there's titanium, there's circuit boards and all this other stuff, and you got to buy or do the missions to get them. And then you can buy all
Fits
these
the
guns.
theme better.
Yeah, definitely. Of post-apocalyptic
Yeah, there's
and
not going to
everything.
be like a currency going around, or at least nothing that's like established.
Yeah, there's no money.
Yeah.
No money. So it seems fun. It's very true to Far Cry.
So like, feels like a Far Cry game.
You ever played Far
Gunplay's
Cry
fun.
2?
I didn't. I started at 3.
I'm with Ethan.
You should play Far Cry
I
2.
have to because I
You
bought
guys have
3.
never played 2?
I
It's
played like
totally different, by the way.
I played the first like 15 minutes of the game.
Oh, so you have played some.
Like 15 minutes.
Okay.
I like drove in my car somewhere and got sick with like, what did I get? Disease. I
Yeah,
can't
there's a
remember.
disease in that game.
You get like you start
Mm.
off with a disease and some guy like gives you medicine or whatever,
Mhm.
and then you like he's like, oh, but I need you to help me out now or something. I can't
Yeah.
remember what you get. You get some
Sure,
something
sure,
bad.
sure, sure.
But I like Ethan. I started out on 3.
Do you have
Which
2?
I think
Do you own 2? I think 2 still holds up, or when I played it, it held up. And I played it a long time ago.
Actually, I did play 1. I went back and played 1.
1 is
because
hilarious.
for the longest time, and I've tried to move away from this, is I've been such like a stickler for like playing all the games in a series. So if like a third game comes out, I'm like, well, I have to play for, even if people go, look, it's completely unrelated. I'm like, they like, I don't know, I guess like OCD or something. I just like, I need to play the whole thing. So when I got Far Cry 3 and I played it and I was like, this game's amazing, I'm like, okay, let me go back. So that's when I bought 1 and 2, and I started with 1, which is nothing like any of the other Far Cry games. It's like not it's like semi-open world, but like not
really.
not like the other games are. You fighting like aliens half the time,
It's
or
like-
like experiment creatures on
Yeah,
this island.
It's like, imagine if they put together like, it's like Crisis plus Doom
yeah,
plus
plus like Turok.
oh my god, yeah,
kind
such a good
of.
example. Yeah,
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 because like the jungle theme and everything.
Yeah.
It's just like it's this really weird like tech demo
yeah.
turned into a game.
Yep.
And then I just like I started 2, but then other games came up, so I never actually played through it.
Two's
feel
really
like-
good.
I feel like that's one of the issues I have with a lot of games, like especially the example that comes to mind is just like The Witcher, which
Yeah.
I know is like it's the game that they're just like just start 3,
Yeah.
but it's like I look at it and I'm like the 3 and I'm like there's 2 other games I gotta
Yeah,
play
I
first.
feel like for
I
Witcher
just
though, you
don't.
kind of have to, because it's a story that does it all the way through. Like Far Cry's not really connected.
Yeah, but I
Mm.
have heard a lot of people say that you can play 3
Yeah, probably.
without it.
I
And
thought
I know
that's what the whole thing was.
yeah, like I think there might like hint at like stuff that Gerald, or is it Gerald or Gerald? It's Gerald, right?
Yeah, I
Wow.
think
That
so.
he's been through and stuff like that maybe you won't get. But like as far as like the
Mm.
actual story, I'm pretty sure
I'm
you're
sure
fine
you can
playing it
start at 3.
standalone.
But for me
And-
personally, I'm at least starting at, I started at 2 actually,
Yeah.
because Cameron.
I was about to bring up Cameron,
told
who
me I
like
should start at 2.
started into it. He even says 1's too rough.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like the game, like this company was like they're the big giants now because of like how big 3 was, and now they're making Cyberpunk. But when they started out making the first game, they didn't have a lot of money, and the game is a very, from what I've heard, like rough, like good game, but like the combat and everything is really
Don't worry, the
really
combat
rough.
in 2 is also rough. The combat in
Well, I
3
heard
is
even-
also rough.
Like I was gonna say, our good buddy here, Nick,
Yeah.
he even says that like combat in 3, which is like people gave that game of the year when it came out back in I think 2016,
Mhm.
2015. He even said that the combat was like one of the weakest parts.
Nick, any comments? Yeah, the combat sucks.
I agree.
It's
That was him being Nick. Come
yeah, but
on.
Nick's deeper than that.
really?
Look at that beard. You think he sounds like this?
Yeah, that's what he
Looks
sounds
like
like to me in
this.
my head.
Okay, fine. We'll go with your voice. I'll move it.
That's all I have to say about that game.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you for your contribution.
No problem.
But yeah, Witcher exactly.
Yeah. I don't know. I do have all the other Far Cries. I also don't have. I mean, I have Blood Dragon, but I haven't played it.
Blood
so-
Dragon's like,
It's cool.
I heard it
but-
was really fun.
yeah, it's fun. That's
It's
a good,
fun,
good
and
word
it, like,
for it.
It's
But it's
all
a
about like
different-
the 80s, like
Yeah, different
what
themes.
people
Like
thought the future was
Rambo.
like in the 80s.
Like,
Mm.
Laser beams, like
Yeah.
flashy lights,
Yep.
Yeah, we'll
stuff
see.
like that. You and I played through 4. That was fun.
Mhm.
We
you guys played
the-
together?
Yeah, we played
Mhm.
the co-op together, and we
Was
got
that,
the
was that
we
your
got-
first time playing a co-op campaign together with someone?
No. It's story like. Did we play it, or was it like a separate co-op campaign? I can't remember.
What do you mean?
For Far Cry 4, was it the actual campaign
It's
in
the
co-op?
actual campaign you
Yeah,
play
okay.
together.
Oh, big step, dude.
Shut up.
Yeah.
We got the infinite ammo glitch though, or at least I did. 'Cause there was like a glitch in co-op where like you just like if you like, but it can happen by accident where your ammo's just unlimited. And at one
Mm.
point I was playing with Ethan, I'm like, I like never run out of ammo, and I looked it up, and it's like just a bug you can get. Because I was like, this is easy. Like I have like all this ammo all the time.
I
But that was
remember
fun.
glitching through the cars and stuff. Like one of us would be like in the middle of the hood, like where
Oh,
the engine
yeah.
would be, and the other one would be driving, and the person would just be like moving around
Yeah.
with them. It's like what? I think I have some
Yeah.
pictures on Steam, but
It was fun though.
yeah, it's a fun game, fun franchise. So
I
I'm
saw,
really enjoying it.
I saw
and
5 go on sale for like $25 in the last
Mhm.
sale, and I'm like, I'm tempted. You played 5, right? As well.
Yeah, I played 5 with Jeremy, and now we're playing New Dawn together.
Oh, so you guys are doing a co-op?
Yeah, yeah.
You liking the co-op aspect of the game?
It's a lot of fun because there's certain things in this one, like with outposts, you can, in order to get one of the resources called ethanol, you have to take the outposts, and if you do it better, you get more, and if you do it and then you redo it, like you let them retake it, like the enemies retake
they
over,
can
and you
retake in
can
this one?
take it back over from them.
Oh.
It gets harder, so
Mm.
they have more armor and stuff, so you kind of need people. Like
Mm.
I tried to do one by myself, and I did it for like an hour and a half, and I just
Aw,
couldn't beat it. I was
They are
so
tough.
angry.
They are tough. I love the outposts in Far Cry, by the way.
Yeah.
Like I love like stealthing them, and like it's so much fun.
Super
Yeah.
fun. But sometimes, yeah, it's like, oh, 90% of these guys need 2 headshots to kill them.
Yeah,
And if you shoot them once, they're going to be...
alerted or
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
so you
not
need
you're
2
not gonna be able to get
people.
the second shot off before they're calling for help.
that's
Yeah.
really cool.
So I end up not being able to do it. I had to just leave. I was like, Jeremy, I can't do this. I need 2 people. And
Jeremy, help me.
he's like, use armor piercing bullets. I'm like, I'm so dumb.
Oh, true.
And then I went back and I did it in like 10 minutes.
Nice.
That's what I've been playing. Other than that, I played a little bit of Livonia, a little bit of Overcooked. Hopefully, I have more time soon.
Yeah.
With the holidays coming.
After the holidays, you got a crazy schedule coming up.
Yep. My dad got a package. Someone just followed us. Sorry, I heard it.
No.
I put Luigi's Mansion 3 on my Christmas list,
Hey.
and a package came in the mail, and it was a very, very, very loose envelope, and I could tell the shape of it. I was like,
It's a
this
Switch
is a
game?
Switch game. I'm the only one who has a Switch in this household. I only asked for one Switch game
Why
for
did
Christmas.
your dad order it knowing you'd be here to get it?
That's just the way shipping works. You
I
never know
guess.
when it's gonna come or whatever.
Yeah,
or
that's
who's
true.
gonna be around.
Yeah.
It just sucked. As soon as I got it, I'm like, yay! But also,
Like, it kind of ruins the surprise. But that's
It's
something to look
fine.
forward to because that
Yeah.
game has
Oh,
been
man.
getting fantastic reviews.
I'm
Yeah, I've
so
been hearing
stoked.
about that. So.
And I've been frustrated because there's a streamer I really enjoy watching. He keeps doing speed runs of it, but I don't want to spoil the game. So every time he does it, I have to turn him off. I'm like, fuck, I just
yeah.
need to play that game. That's cool.
All right. Before we end this segment, really quick.
Well, I got to talk about what I've been playing.
Yeah,
Sure,
sorry, I
sure.
hogged a lot of
No,
time.
that's
there.
cool. Now that I've talked Far Cry up so much, are you guys ever gonna play it?
What, Far Cry 2?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay.
The big thing, like, I want to, but like,
Time. So many other games.
that's the problem. Like,
Okay.
there are so.
That's fair,
I
that's
was
fair.
having this conversation with a few of the guys in Discord yesterday. There's so many games I want to play, and there's so many games that I sink time into, because like I just want to keep playing them
Just stop playing online games.
and stop shiny hunting.
Done.
You know how many
Sure.
hours I have in Pokemon Sword right now?
Probably too many.
Both of you guys take a guess. So okay, to give you
What's
a
that?
hint, I beat the main story, and I think I was at like. No, I finished my Pokedex at like, I want to say 45 to 50 hours. So I started shiny hunting at 50 hours. I think.
350.
Okay, I'm not that fucking
Okay.
insane. But Ethan,
Sorry, what was the question?
how many hours do you think I have in Pokemon Sword?
Oh my!
I said
gosh.
350. He said not that insane.
I've said I'm not that insane.
Not that insane.
Yeah,
220.
you're close. I'm at 180.
Okay. Not
That's
terrible.
a lot
Rookie
of
number.
time
I
for a
had-
game
hey,
that's been out for a month.
I had 400 hours in my Soul Silver card
Yeah.
before I lost it or whatever happened to it. So
That is
Rookie
one of the greatest
numbers.
Pokemon games ever made,
Yep.
by the way. But yeah, I gotta. I'm starting to get burnt out, so I'll probably be taking a break from shiny hunting soon to do other stuff, and then I'll come back. But
what? You're telling me it's no fun doing this
Huh?
for hours on end?
You also got really lucky a lot of times, so I feel like getting that lucky kind of like gets your hopes up that they're all
Yeah.
gonna be like that.
I had quite a few that were under odds. I've had 3 go over, 1 really bad, and my 4th one right now I'm hunting is over odds. So I'm starting to be like,
Yeah.
That dopamine hit you got with
Dude.
5 is never happening again.
Mhm.
So
not only that, but it was a square shiny.
I don't know what that means.
So the Pokemon, they have like the sparkle animation when they're shiny, and it can either be stars or this new one they added, which is like these shiny squares that come out.
Okay.
And these squares, when you're hatching eggs, are a 1 in 16 chance. So you have the 1 in 512 of getting the shiny, and then
Mhm.
once it rolls a shiny, it rolls
1 in 16?
a 1 to 16. And if you get the 1 out of a 16 chance, you get the square. And I got that on the 5th Pokemon.
So what? That makes it a 1 in 10,000 or something?
Something crazy.
Right?
And I got that on my 5th egg. There's no
More
way
than
I'm
that.
ever beating those odds again. Like, that's actually disgusting.
It's like 1 in 8,000, I think.
Something like ridiculous.
You just multiply them, right?
Yeah, 16 by 512, which I don't know what that is, but there's a lot.
Okay, Google. Multiply. What is it? 512 by 16.
Hey, Google. What is 512 times 16?
Okay.
You're pretty close.
8,192.
So yeah, 1 out of 8,192. I got that on my 5th try.
It's
So-
pretty
Nice,
cool
nice.
odds. It sounds kind of lame.
Hmm?
It sounds kind of like lackluster, not lame. It sounds lackluster.
What?
That they're like, yeah, 1 in 8,000, and it's like, yeah, you get some squares.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, I guess it's just kind of like an extra thing to encourage people to like hunt or show off.
Who's
Yeah.
encouraged by that is my main question.
Not many people. like to me, a shiny's a shiny. It doesn't change the look of them. It's just the initial sparkle when they come into battles. But yeah, that's the thing. Is there's so many games I want to play, and time and wasted shiny hunting. So
I feel you.
But speaking of,
I will say, sorry, it's very special. It's like
what 2?
Far Cry 2. Yeah, it is like. It's very. You know why I like it so much? It's because it's very sim-like. Like the way your character moves, the way your character drives the car, all like little animations in the game. It's all first person, obviously.
Yeah.
So it's very like. It feels like I'm there. It's immersive. That's why I loved it so much.
That's a good thing. It's on my Steam list, so who knows?
First, finish Portal 2, but continue.
True.
I digress.
I do need to finish Portal. But yeah, so more games I've been spending my time on. Playing a bit more Pokemon, obviously, shiny hunting. I'm at like, I don't know, 14 or 15 Pokemon. You can look on my Twitter. I post every time I get them because,
what's your Twitter?
Why not? At Crably.
So if you're in the chat, you want to know our socials? ! Socials.
Oh, get Ethan with the links.
Although it doesn't work today, I'm just now remembering.
Ethan with the false links.
Don't do it.
But yeah, I post them on Twitter because A, might as well share it, and B, it's the fastest way to get pictures onto my computer
off your
from my
Switch.
Yeah, because it's just like built in. Like
on
you go to the album and it's like post, and it just immediately links to your Twitter. So, but on top of that, I have been playing a bit of Destiny because as of last Tuesday, the new season rolled out, Season of Dawn. So we closed.
So did the Undying season actually?
We closed out on the Season of Undying. We
it
defeated
really
the Undying Mind. And have stopped the Vex invasion. But by doing that, it's like there's always something to fix, right? But basically, this one is another season centered around Osiris, who was in the first DLC.
That's cool. They're finally bringing back.
Very poorly done DLC.
I agree.
But it's kind of like a redemption arc for Mercury.
Nice.
And they're bringing back Osiris and bringing back a fan favorite from Destiny 1, Saint 14.
No,
who is a...
I played D1 the entire way through. I don't remember him.
He was like dead in the game.
Was he vanilla or?
You never saw him. He's been like you just hear about him.
Really?
You never met his character.
Okay.
There was a Titan exotic called the Helm of Saint 14.
Okay.
But you never actually, and he had a shotgun. Although I don't know if the shotgun was in D1. I don't think it was. But anyways, he was a Titan that got lost in time in Mercury, or not really Mercury, in the Vex world, and just like never able to make it back, and eventually died in there. And you find out that Osiris had built this thing called a sundial that was supposed to help manipulate time and help, and it ended up not working properly, and he wasn't able to save Saint 14. And then you find out now that the Cabal have found the sundial and are using it to manipulate the time on Mercury to try and rewrite the Red War, which is the start of the D2 campaign where they try and take over the Traveler.
Who was the big boss at the end of the Red War? What's his name?
Gaul.
So
they're trying to now rewrite history to where they won, and they harness the power of the Traveler, and where the Guardians didn't. So you have to do this new 6-player activity called the Sundial to basically you go through past, present, and future of Mercury and fight the Cabal across time, trying to prevent them from doing this. Enough about the lore. The actual activity is much, much better than the Season of Undying 6-man activity, Vex Offensive. In Vex Offensive, every week it was literally just the same 2 encounters, which were the same thing, and then a boss fight. And even when you got to the end where you got to fight the Undying Mind, which was the new boss, literally the exact same mechanics as the boss you've been fighting. So it was kind of disappointing. This one, you've got multiple different areas you're going to. Each one has different enemy types with different mechanics to the fight.
That's cool.
And every week the boss changes, and I think there's a total of 4 bosses. So already much more content to it.
Variability.
They've added these obelisks across the different planets, which help. Because Mercury's time is changing, these obelisks help ground the other planets in the solar system so that they don't get stuck in this time manipulation like Mercury is. And at the obelisks, there's a whole bunch of like special perks and bonuses that you can unlock through them, and certain guns that you can farm through them. Or if you activate the obelisks, you can make sure that you get those guns when you do the sundial. So you can kind of pick and choose what weapons and like you want to grind for, which is nice. And the greatest thing is the pulse rifle that I have been farming for over a year, the Bygones, which is my favorite pulse rifle in the game, and I've been trying to get the good roll in it. There's finally a direct way to farm it. It's no longer part of this like 20 item loot pool that you just have to hope you get it and the roll. Now I can literally farm that one gun.
Nice.
So I'm so happy about that.
Very nice.
And then when I go home today, I'll be playing the Dawning event because the Christmas event, which in Destiny is called the Dawning, started today at noon. So I'm looking forward to that. All sorts of
Pog University.
Yeah, all sorts of Christmas goodies and some new Christmas themed Eververse content, emotes, the whole shebang. And then the last game I've been playing is Apex Legends. I've actually been getting back into it because they launched their Christmas event, which was actually shown off at Game Awards. And I just kind of was like, you know what? Like, I haven't really played. I played it a ton in season 1.
With a controller?
Oh yeah, I'm better. Like,
Sure you are.
screw mouse and keyboard. And I played a lot in season 1. I played a little bit in season 2, and I haven't really touched season 3. But with this new one, with the new Christmas event going on or whatever, I was like, you know what? Let me jump back in and try it. I've been playing a few games. It's fun. And they also added this new limited time event called the Winter Express, I believe. And it's basically a 3v3v3. So there's only 9 players in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And you all drop, you pick your character, but each character has a preset loadout, and there's no looting.
Ooh.
You can loot from like the people you kill to get ammo, but everyone has a preset loadout. And you have unlimited heals and shields,
Oh, nice.
but it's like the lowest one, so syringe and like the
Okay.
smallest shield cell, but
Okay.
you have unlimited.
Sure.
And there's a train that goes through the map and it stops at stations.
Okay.
And what you have to do is when it stops at a station, you have to capture the train to win a round, and it's first team to 3 rounds, respawning every time the round ends.
Okay.
And you either win a round by capturing the train or by wiping the other 2 squads, so you're the last squad alive.
Yep.
And it's just it's a nice breath of fresh air into the game, and it kind of gives you a taste of what Apex is without the looting and just kind
Yeah.
of focusing more on
How
the
does it
shooting
feel?
and stuff. It's amazing
Okay.
because Apex is such a good feeling shooter,
Yeah. I
and
agree.
it's just much more fast paced. You don't have the lull of the looting.
Mhm.
You don't have the waiting to fight. You have an objective. People are there. You're fighting.
Dude, I'm telling you,
it's a lot of
looting.
fun.
If BRs got rid of looting, they would be so much better.
Like, I get why it's there to help and everything like that, but sometimes it's such a crawl to get to the
Yeah.
action when you're going through just like looting, right? Especially if you just don't drop near people. And
Mhm.
like, obviously you can drop hot, but if you want to win, that's not necessarily the
Yeah.
best thing to do because you're all fighting over limited
Yep,
loot, and
yep.
you're gonna get like killed by 10 different
That's a lot of
squads who are
RNG.
around you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this game mode's a lot more fun for me personally, and it's just like high action
Yeah.
shooting
Nice.
and utilizing what makes Apex the strongest, which is the movement and the
Mhm.
shooting, in my
Yep.
opinion. So I've been playing that, and it's only on for a couple weeks. So if
Nice.
any of you guys have the itch to play Apex, I'm maybe playing with Mark tonight too. So
Sounds good.
and I think Joe might be playing as well. But yeah, that's what I've been
Overwatch.
doing.
Overwatch Christmas event.
That's true. Overwatch also has a Christmas event. I'll have to hop on and play with you at some point.
Nice.
Do it.
But
I
yeah, that's what
updated
I've been doing.
earlier.
How about you, Nick? What have you been playing?
Yeah, Nick, what about you?
I've been playing my favorite game, DayZ and Star Citizen.
Wow, Nick, you've really changed your opinions on what games you like.
I've been having a lot of fun.
I'd like to retract all my statements about DZ.
Exactly.
Metroid's not dead.
Game of the Year 2020.
Thanks for your input, Nick.
Yeah,
Appreciate
this
it.
Nick is great.
Yeah, I love this, Nick.
Can we keep him?
Other Nick stay in New York. I'm
Stay
just
down
kidding.
there.
He went to the Nintendo store, and him and his
Uh.
girlfriend Ophelia picked me up something, so
Nice.
they got me up.
There's so much Zelda stuff.
Dude. Not to go too off topic, but yeah, Nick's in New York right now, and he went to the Nintendo store, and he sent us a bunch of pictures. That Master Sword,
I want it.
holy
I didn't-
crap!
Honestly, I just scrolled past it really quick. Should I
Yeah.
like take a look at more
The
detail?
Master Sword and like the Link,
Link
statue.
statue.
And they had the Star Fox, the Fox McCloud visor and blaster set up there. They have like Peach's crowns in her gloves. That store looks amazing.
Why didn't he take us?
Yeah.
Good question.
What is this? Just want to go with my girlfriend. That's weird.
Yeah.
Word.
I don't know how I feel about like you are like, and I don't know you to an extent, like to go on a really quick segue, really quick. That was redundant. I don't know how I feel about like collectible like merch items and stuff like that.
I
I
know
just
that
feel like-
they're like wasteful,
No,
but I still love
hey,
them.
no, I don't think it's wasteful to you, right? It's
Yeah.
how you see them.
But like looking back, it's like I probably spent like $300 on pop figures.
Oh, by the way,
I
speaking
could
of,
have $300 right now, but it's just like I don't know. I'm just a sucker for like I'm the person who goes into a toy store and just wants everything. And it's not probably not the best way to spend my money, but I'm just such a sucker for like props and figures and
Sure.
toys for stuff I love.
Sure.
I get
I mean,
absorbed in
hey,
that.
I would if I could, I would spend money on like we're talking about like dioramas and stuff, that kind of stuff. I like that stuff. So
Stuff like this is dope.
yeah, yeah.
People can't see what I'm pointing to, or you might be able to see just
Yeah,
a
you
little
can see
bit.
it.
But it's the map of Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Done like
That
old
was-
school, showing all the different what's the word for this? Like when it shows the elevation in maps.
Topography.
Topography, yeah. Like still one of the greatest games ever made.
I guess-
just this map, like stuff like this is like, man.
It came
When I get
with,
my own house, I'll have like a man cave that's just decorated with video game shit.
It came with Breath of the Wild, the second highest edition, and the highest edition came with the same Master Sword statue that you saw,
Oh,
but like
A miniature
smaller.
one, yeah.
oh,
Like I think it was like 10 inches tall or something, but it was like an extra $100.
Yeah.
I want one, but it's a lot for a little plastic sword.
Yeah.
basically, I guess what I'm trying to say really quick is, like, I guess I haven't found like the fandom or like
I
the
think
thing
for
I'm
you, the
into.
closest thing would be D&D figures, but those have a practical use
Sure, yeah.
because you can actually physically use them in your.
I would also
campaigns,
like. I
right?
want to get into painting them.
Mm.
I need
Like
to buy
Cameron.
paints and stuff. Yeah,
Guy tells me how many hours he spends painting. I'm like,
it's a
holy
lot.
Shit.
We should be paying.
Oh
him.
yeah, I painted like the start of this. Took me 4 hours. I'm like, what the
He's
fuck?
so on some of the stuff he's painted for us. He's put in like 30 hours.
Yeah,
I need
it's
to be. I
insane.
need to be paying that guy.
I don't have the patience.
I would love to do that
I'm a
because
21st century boy. I need the quick dopamine hit.
fair enough.
I think it'd be cool if I got into D&D and figures and stuff. I'd really want to buy like a 3D printer.
That's
Yeah,
what I
or
Just
want.
do it myself.
I want to get Cameron an airbrush.
Oh yeah,
I feel like those are not accurate enough though.
Yeah, but
it'd be
You're
better
right.
on like the bigger
base
like boss
coats.
creatures.
sure,
and stuff.
yeah, for like base coats and like general
base
tones and
coats,
stuff like
yeah.
that. Yeah, and there's some accurate stuff you can do like speckling and stuff like that.
True.
Yeah, 3D
Yeah.
printing would be sick. You can make some awesome stuff.
There's a lot of stuff.
There,
you can
there are
do.
like specific 3D printers. Really quickly, just talking about them, like that are good for minis because their
Yeah.
resolution is really good and the
Mhm.
resin or whatever like they use
the
is
dot rate or whatever. I don't know what it's
something
called.
like that. Yeah, something
Yeah.
like that. It's cool stuff.
Oh yeah. Shall we get into some
Sure, yeah, let's
some
do it.
news? So we had like a couple revealing shows this week. We had the Nintendo Indies event, but
I didn't watch that.
I watched highlights of it because I was out when it was aired.
Any cool games?
There's just a few cool indies, like nothing that I'm really gonna
Any,
be
like, Anything that I would like that new concept?
off the top of my head. I can't
Okay,
remember
that's
because
fair.
I
That's
watched it like a
completely
week ago. But I mean, if you're interested, check it out. There's always like cool games, but there's nothing out there that was like I needed to announce it. So if
Any
anyone
like
wants to
new
check it out,
genre creators / definers coming out? That's what I'm
yeah,
always looking for.
I don't think there was anything like that. But
Okay.
go back and maybe browse
Okay.
through if I missed it. But there was also a State of Play, which is Sony's version of it. This one actually had a couple games that I wanted to bring up really quickly. So the first one was they're doing it's a spellbinding BR game called Spellbreak, and you're basically just like a magician, like spell user,
Clash Royale.
kind of like Clash Royale, but like
Uh-huh.
only spells, no guns, and
Uh-huh.
like you can like use ice on the ground to like then start sliding through
Uh-huh.
and like
Interesting.
manipulate the world of spells. It looks like
Is it
they're
a VR
probably-
game?
No.
Oh, okay.
proper game. It looks like they're trying to get on the BR hype or
Proper
whatever.
game, please.
VR games for the most part are pretty
I
like
agree, I
half
agree,
baked.
I agree.
So, I don't think this is going to be like, genre defining like the
Yeah.
newest BR you need to get. But I thought, okay, this kind of looks like a fun game. If it's got a free to play model, I'll definitely try it out. So it's called Spellbreak. The next game, which looks so freaking cool, is called Superliminal, and it's a game
Oh.
that is all about perspective.
Yeah.
And the trailer they showed was just so cool. Like the first scene was like the character was walking up and there was a pedestal with a PS4 controller. And they look at it and it's, normal controller size
Mm-hmm.
for the person. And they pick it up and then they like look forward and the thing's actually massive. And then they drop it and it like vibrates the whole, it takes up half the room.
Mm-hmm.
And they had like a whole bunch of stuff where like you had this like staircase and it was like a miniature one, but then you lifted it up and like the perspective of it changed and it became big and then you could use
Yep.
the staircase to climb.
It
And
looks
it
really
just-
cool.
It looks like a really, really cool puzzle game that you just manipulate how you look at things to solve it. And I thought that was such a cool idea for
Yeah.
puzzle games. And just anyone who's even remotely interested in puzzle games, look at the trailer. It's like 2 minutes long, but it looks like it'd be a really fun and creative game.
At the
Just
risk of-
manipulating how you look at stuff.
At the risk of sounding like a hipster, I saw the tech demo for this like 3 years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah, it looked. I think I even linked it. I'm sure I linked it because it looked
you
really
might
dope.
have.
Yeah, but like
It
the
looks
whole
awesome.
perspective thing.
Yeah, Like you just how it plays tricks on your mind and stuff like that. Like
Mhm.
just and it's gonna take creativity to solve. Like
Yeah.
you'll feel rewarded. I feel like if you can figure it out. So that game was cool.
What's
And
it called
then
again, sorry?
Superliminal.
Yeah.
But it wasn't shown at the Game Awards, so you'll have to look at a different link.
Oh, okay.
It was on State of Play.
Right,
Um,
right.
I mean, I
sorry.
feel like
Yeah.
it's a kind of a game where like you would probably like get stuck on a puzzle and then like stop playing for 4 years or so.
Have I done that before?
Yeah, like Celeste and
What do you mean Celeste? I beat Celeste in like
Yeah, but, like, you,
I had a better score than you did.
you did.
I beat it in less time
But
and had
what
way
I'm
more
saying is-
strawberries than you.
What I'm
Excuse me,
what
sir.
I'm saying is you stopped playing because you got stuck, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
I got stuck on a B side, like the sixth
Oh,
B side, way
okay.
down.
Okay, never mind. But still, you got stuck and you stopped playing. That's my point. Get fucked.
I'll give you Portal. I ain't giving you Celeste.
Fair enough. I still
I'll
take
mop
it.
the floor with you in that game, boy.
You
That's
did
very-
also say he would stop for 4 years. I don't think Celeste is even 4 years
No,
old.
That's
No.
true.
I stopped for like a month. Get
Yeah.
out of here. And the biggest reveal from the State of Play, which has me so freaking excited, was they showed off the single player bit of Project Resistance, which was that 4v1 multiplayer game for Resident Evil. And and you know the one where it's like the 4 people are going in and the one guy gets to like manipulate the room.
yeah.
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh,
How'd it
we're going
look?
to show you
How'd
the
it look?
single player
Uh-huh,
portion."
uh-huh.
Well, it just turns out that the single player portion of Project Resistance is freaking Resident Evil 3 remake.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be
So-
like an add-on to it.
It's just the single player. They're just the same
Oh,
game.
shit.
They're sold
Okay.
together. This reveal was freaking huge because if anyone knows, earlier this year, February, they launched Resident Evil 2 remake, which was a completely repolished game of a 20-year-old game. And if you look, like, it looks incredible.
It outsold the original.
It outsold the
outsold
original
the
game
original.
That's
in
pretty
in a
insane.
year of it in less than a year of it being out, and it's been nominated for Game of the Year at both the Game Awards and many other award sites like IGN, GameSpot,
Mhm.
stuff like that, or
GameSpot's
GameSpot. I always
yeah.
get GameStop and GameSpot mixed up in my brain. But so they did extremely well, and it looks so good. And I actually picked it up on the Steam sale, so it's one of my games I'm gonna be
Nice,
playing
nice.
soon. And people started like there were rumors that with it doing so well, maybe they'll do 3. But nobody thought A, it would be out a year later,
Mhm.
and B, that it would be packaged with Project Resistance. So the fact that they showed this off and they showed like a whole cutscene with Jill and everything, and
Is it coming to PC?
yeah, I would assume so,
Nice.
because the second one did as
Yeah.
well. So that'll be coming out in early next year, and it looks incredible. And this
Nice.
is like, damn, Capcom.
I have
you're
never
just-
played 3. I've played 2 and 4 and
I've
5.
only played 4 and 5.
Okay.
So I'm really excited to hop back into 2, and by the time I finish it, 3 will be coming out, and I'm really excited to hop back into that one, or hop into that one. Sorry.
You ever seen any of the Resident Evil movies with
Yeah.
Yes.
what's her name?
Oh my goodness. What is her name?
She's like that.
Mila Jovovich.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. They're okay. They're like
they're cool. They're a lot different than the games.
Yeah.
They're
but
really cheesy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They're
We
cheesy,
have them
but
at work.
they're
I've
they're
seen them a
cheesy, but
lot.
they're cool. So yeah, I was blown away with that. I was like, holy shit, that's like out of left field, right?
I'm gonna drop a ball on you.
Yeah.
I've never played any Resident Evil game ever.
Have you played any Silent Hill?
Nope.
Have you played any?
Actually, I think I did. I think I watched my dad play a Silent Hill game.
Oh, okay.
Do you have
Never
interest in them or not really?
I don't know. I just feel like, again, like we were talking about before. Oh, they're redoing Resident Evil 3. Well, I gotta go back and play Resident Evil 1, 2 first.
Yeah. So as somebody who is just as like stuck in that mentality as you, I started on 4. 4 is amazing. It is older now. I still think it holds up.
The gameplay does.
But like,
Yeah.
It doesn't look that great.
It doesn't look that great, but the gameplay holds up, and it's on like every platform imaginable.
Yeah.
So if
storyline
you-
connection though, like
Mhm.
it's fine to start in the middle of 4.
No, they're usually like
They're all like independent stories.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like 4 has nothing to do with the other ones aside from like
some characters are
like-
recurring and
yeah, like Leon is a character who's also in 2.
like the
but-
Umbrella Corporation is always going to be there because they're
Yeah.
like the main bad guys.
Themes are the same.
Yeah.
but you won't be like they won't be making references to
Mhm.
stuff. I guess the only small thing is like one of the characters will talk to Leon and be like, "Oh, I see you again," and like I don't know who you are because this is the first time I've seen you. But
True.
like other than that, so like 4, it's on Switch, PC, Xbox, GameCube, PS, like every freaking system has 4, so that's great. But if you want a up to date like
Yeah,
modern
start
one,
with 2.
go with 2 remake. I haven't played it yet, but I've heard nothing but good things about it. So
I'll take a look.
don't be like this guy and be like, I'm never gonna play it just because it bugs you.
You mean I'm never going to play it just because it bugs you?
Yeah, don't be
Yeah.
that guy.
Yeah. I just have a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have the
It's hard.
time, but
Yeah.
if I had to give you a top 10 list of video games of all time, 4 would be on my list.
Sure, yeah.
Like, I hold that game at top.
'Cause the thing is, it's such a, and I don't know how you like to play your games, but I don't think that Resident Evil, there are not very many games out there that are in the same style of Resident Evil. It plays very differently to other games. And
you can't aim and move. So when you have to aim to shoot, you have to stop, which makes, like, if you're in a situation where you're getting run down by zombies, it makes it way more, like, stressful.
And besides just that, it's not like it just plays a lot differently than any other games, and like the whole experience is very different. So if you like exploring games that give you new experiences, and like, you know, you don't just want to keep having the same experience again and again, maybe try it out. Maybe try out some Resident Evil.
True.
Yeah. So that was for the State of Play. Then we had the Game Awards, which for most people is the E3 version 2.
Did you know Laura Bailey left the Game Awards before they announced her category?
Why?
And she went to play D&D.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So because it was a Thursday.
She showed up and she was like, everyone's like, "Did you win?" And they're like, and she's like, "Oh, they haven't announced my category yet."
She did not win.
Which
sucks to suck.
I have a sneaking suspicion someone might have told her that.
Maybe. That she wouldn't need to come up for the award.
And so
well,
she just
Matt
went
Nicholson wasn't even there to accept it.
Yeah.
Some of the awards, they didn't have people there. Again, like, I really wanted her to win because I thought her like performance as Kate was fantastic, but I haven't played Death Stranding, so like I can't be like it's better than Mads Nicholson's portrayal in that.
Can I say something else about Laura Bailey really quick?
Sure.
So, the character she's playing right now, I like a lot more than the character. I mean, not a lot more, but I like it a little bit more. Is what I'm trying to say.
What do you mean the character?
So in Critical Role, the character she's playing right now, in the second campaign, I think is a more fleshed out character than the character that she played in the first campaign.
And that could just be the evolution of her as a voice actress, right?
Yeah, and the game and Critical Role and everything.
Yeah.
But I think that goes for a lot of the people who are playing. Shit, I don't know why I'm talking about this right now, but I just wanted to throw it out there.
Yeah. But yeah, like, you go there, you want to see what the awards are, but at the end of the day, like, this isn't like a definitive list. These are still opinions of people. Sure, they're like, you know, game critics or whatever, so they've earned their right to have this opinion, but it's still opinions.
Okay, sorry,
but it's mostly about the news, the world premieres and stuff like that. So we've got a good amount of stuff.
I'm sure it's a fun
night
night for people who are invited, the
Oh
press,
yeah,
the media.
you know, they've got like live performances.
It's a party, so
Green Day's new stuff is not so good.
I didn't mind
it. They opened up with an old song, and I was like, okay. And then they play one of their new songs, and I was like,
it wasn't terrible.
It wasn't terrible. It wasn't good.
It wasn't good. Yeah, okay.
And then
I'll
see
give
like
you
some
that.
people in the crowd are like, and I'm like, but I mean,
What's
whatever.
that fucking face?
That ain't it, Chief. But overall, it was a good show. There were a couple moments where it was like, the Muppet section was freaking fantastic.
I didn't get it. I don't know who those people were until
Sean
Nevin.
looks like, who are the Muppets?
Nevin was like, "Who, you degenerate?"
Yeah, Nevin was, instead of telling him, Nevin was shaming the shit out of him. He's like, how do you not know, you uncultured degenerate?
Yeah, that's what he called me.
I mean, if we're gonna break it down, I feel like a lot of it is just because you're not white.
Yeah.
It's a very Western.
If you grew up in like a Western white household, it's alright.
Yeah.
But I thought it was
That
really
being said,
it was really funny.
I'm glad I didn't watch it because I probably would have just been like, "This is stupid," and I'm really not a fan of the Muppets.
No, I thought it was really funny, and they like did a collaboration with Untitled Goose Game, and they like edited in one of the Muppets to be in the Goose Game. So I thought it was funny, but so they had moments like that, but then they also had missed moments like when they brought out Vin Diesel and I forget her name, Michelle something from
Rodriguez
from Fast and Furious. And
you mean from Avatar? Get it right.
Sure, my bad.
Yeah.
And that was just a awkward 4 minutes on stage followed up with a PS2 game that looked like trash.
Maybe, hey, it seemed awkward to me, but maybe that's just how they are, so I try not to judge. You know, maybe that's just how they are with
I've
each
seen
other.
them in other interviews. I don't think so.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Anyways, overall, decent show, but do we want to get into some of the hype announcements?
I don't remember a single hype.
Well, that's why I got a notebook here.
Go for it.
There's at least one. And that one, I will say, was that Phil Spencer.
Oh, yeah.
this was bold. I did. If you had asked me to get like we did predictions or whatever, and most
Hey,
of us
I
were
think I
wrong.
called this, by the way. I
Did
think
you?
I think I said something like, probably not, to be honest, but I feel like I said Project Scarlet.
Maybe. So yeah, Microsoft revealed or unveiled, however you want to say, the official name and look of the new console that was deemed Project Scarlet.
Xbox
So-
XX.
It's actually just called Xbox. It was confusing when they did the event.
It's just called Xbox
It's
now.
just Xbox. So they're going forward. They just want it to be. It'll always be Xbox.
yeah, from
and
now on.
each new iteration will be like a type of Xbox. So it'll be like, like you have like the MacBook, MacBook Air, MacBook Pro, but they're all MacBooks. I think that's kind of what Microsoft's doing.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, like Microsoft, they've never been great at naming their consoles.
Yeah.
Hey, the
Or
360 was
OS.
a great name.
Xbox was sick,
Yeah.
the original one. The 360 was pretty good,
Okay.
but it wasn't the greatest. And then the one, it's like, okay, all in one. And then you got the Xbox One X.
Remember when everyone thought it would be called the Xbox 720?
720? Yeah.
I'm just the fact that they called an Xbox 360 degrees.
True.
Like it's a box. It has more degrees than 360.
Yeah.
Like
It's just,
it's
yeah.
bad.
it's because, and I think Nick told me this, is the main thing was they didn't want to release an Xbox 2 against a PlayStation because
Oh, that
2
makes
is lesser
sense.
than 3. And
Yeah.
you think, oh, that's really stupid. But in consumers who don't really like know what's going on and they just go into a store and they're like, oh, that's
a nice
3.
way of putting it.
That's
It's
cooler.
newer.
Right? Like people who are in the gaming world know, but people who don't, they just see a 3 and they think that's a newer model. Whether it has a different name or not, 3 is greater than 2.
Yeah.
So Microsoft didn't want to compete
Mhm.
in that sense. And I mean, I guess I get that. They didn't really
Why
come
did
up
they
with
just
the
call it
greatest
Xbox
names,
3?
but- I mean, I guess, but then there'd be a whole bunch of people like, "Oh, you just skipped 2. What the hell are you doing? What are we gonna have Xbox 17 next?" Like there was no winning. But yeah, so they showed the new Xbox, which is
Just
this model
Xbox.
is called the Series X.
Ah,
But when they announced it, they're like, "We're introducing Xbox Series X." So everyone thought that that's what the new console was called. So then it was like, "Oh, we're gonna have an Xbox Series XS,
Are there
Xbox
details?
Series X, for like power and stuff."
the
There
specs
are.
and all that.
I
Yeah.
didn't write them down,
Okay.
but you can
I
find
can
the
look it up.
specs online.
Is it going to be like
It's gonna be-
modular and like you swap a part out and you buy the new part from Microsoft? And you,
I don't think so, but
Okay.
they didn't specify that from what I saw.
Okay,
But
okay.
it's over twice as powerful as the One X, which is like the beast one that they released.
What?
Yeah.
How are they doing that? I got to go see what's inside.
So
Here,
look
you
at
want
the
me to,
spec. You have the specs?
Do you want to
Yep.
throw it over? Can I just have your laptop for a second?
I'll just say it.
Okay. I mean, it might be a long list to read. That's why.
Yeah. All right. Here, you read it then.
Oh, okay, sure. You want me to read it? Might be really boring.
Well, just read like the like the CPU,
Main stuff.
GPU stuff like that. Don't get into all like the nitty gritty.
Okay. CPU, 8 core, targeting around 3.5 gigahertz. Okay. GPU, Xbox Series X GPU. Okay. Doesn't tell.
That's all it says.
And compute power. This is the important part. 12 teraflops. What's the compute power on the Xbox One?
The original Xbox One?
No, the Pro one. Let me look it up.
like Xbox One X.
Yeah, let me find it
I'm
out.
not sure.
I will find that out really quick.
you know how to
While
MacBook?
Shamik's looking that up, they did say also when they showed off the console that all 15 Microsoft-owned game studios are currently working on games for the system. So hopefully that means that it'll have a good launch lineup. They didn't announce a price point or anything, which some people are kind of concerned about. But so it was 6.
6 teraflops.
So yeah, double.
Okay. So that's good.
Yeah, and Xbox One X is by far the strongest console
Yeah.
on the market right now. That thing is a powerhouse.
So this one will be the strongest.
Now the interesting thing about this, and some people are making fun of it, some people are praising it. It looks like a computer tower. They've kind of, if we think about
That's
it,
so
consoles are
intentional.
just computers
Yeah.
at this point.
Mhm.
They're just like they've always been, but even like especially now, they're just parts shoved into a
Mhm.
box to make
Mhm.
it look like a console for a
Mhm.
cheaper price. Some people don't know about this, but it still can be turned on its side because a
Mhm.
lot of people
Okay.
were like, "How is this going to fit into my
Yeah, yeah,
entertainment
yeah,
unit?"
yeah.
Like it's just a tall
Mhm.
tower. It can still be turned horizontally and fit, but it is just a computer tower essentially. What do you guys think about the design?
You want to talk? I want to talk.
You go.
Okay.
I'll say after.
I love this because this is the first time anyone's like going like, okay, yeah, okay, we're just a computer, and
Yeah.
we're going up against a PC now.
They're just a budget.
'Cause-
That's what a console is. It's just a budget computer
Yeah.
for people who can't afford $2,000 to drop on
Sure.
a gaming rig.
Before this point, consoles I feel like have been, oh, we're a console. Like, we're
Trying
not
to trick
we're not,
people.
Yeah, we're not a computer. We're not as complicated as a computer. We're not this much as a computer. But Microsoft, I feel, is like coming in here and going like, no,
we're not going to fool you. This is still a computer.
Yeah.
It's just marketed as a console.
Yeah, and maybe it comes with all like the accessibilities of a console, right? Like no
It's not
operating
going to
your
have
drivers
like,
and all that.
yeah,
Kind
you're
of
not
thing,
going to
and
be booting up Windows and having to like do all that. Like it's still going to be easy to use, but they're not hiding what it is.
I like it.
Yeah. What about you, Ethan?
I'm the exact opposite.
You
I
hate it.
really dislike it.
Really?
Why's that?
Really, really dislike it. I know they say that you can put it sideways or whatever, but this console just looks huge, man. Like
Yeah,
It is beefy.
in a you can the audience can't see, but like the station that's sitting behind camera, the box that my TV behind Shamikh is sitting on is just a big open box. But like if you have a TV unit that's like designed to fit like a DVD player width or height, whatever. If you turn this thing on its side, it's
probably
not
won't
going to fit.
No, probably not.
It's going to be fat. Like it's. I think they're
The form
getting
factor is
too
really
ahead
important.
of themselves by being like, yeah, it's just a computer. It's like, okay, it's got computer parts. It's not a computer. It's not going to be used in situations as much at a TV, I think, as people would be like, oh yeah, I'm sitting at my desk. I'll just plug my Xbox One or Xbox Series, whatever it is, into my desk, and like it'll be fine. I still think majority of people are using it in the situation of console gaming on a couch.
Yeah, you're
or
probably
couch
right.
Gaming.
You're probably right.
And I think they took a leap, which I think you can understand. Like, you know, change is constant, and everyone's gonna always be changing and stuff. But I don't know if I had a TV console that it's not going to fit in. It's not a deal breaker, but it's going to make me a little bit upset.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess like I think it'll fit in like a TV unit that I have, but I also have some pretty roomy shelves in mine. So there are some people I have seen that, a DVD player fits almost snug. A Blu-ray player fits almost snug. An Xbox One, is almost all the room you have in there.
Yeah.
Plus you want to have a bit of room for ventilation.
Yep.
So it will vary depending on the person. If you have a unit that's a little more cramped, it might not fit, or if it does, you might not get the best ventilation, and that could be definitely an issue because you don't want to have to get a whole new station just to fit a new console, right?
Yeah. I don't think it's ugly. I just think it isn't practical for maybe not most people, but I just think it's
practical as what it was.
Yeah, I think it's a risk for some people to take.
I agree.
But I do think it does look better. I think we can all agree it does look better than the stupid concept design or the developer design for the PS5, which makes me want to just
the leaked dev kit.
Yeah, like the
this console won't
Coliseum
look like
looking
that.
thing.
The console won't look like that. That was just a dev kit.
It better not look
won't.
anything like that,
It
man.
won't. It won't.
I can
assure you
the
the
fans.
The V.
No, I
the
think
5. That's what it was. Right?
I think that's just like a dev kit thing.
It better be.
Yeah.
It better.
I think
be.
okay.
The person who leaked that was an idiot, by the way.
Yep.
I think
Because like that picture gave up who you were.
Yeah.
Like you're
Sure.
probably fired.
Probably. The best thing I think about this is the higher compute power.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't care how it looks. Really, like none of that
Yeah.
is a matter. I'm not that minded. I like that it's stronger because that
I'm
means
stoked on that.
we can get sicker games.
Yeah.
And
on
it's
our
still going to be
console.
the most efficient, like cheapest way to be pushing 4K.
Yeah. Sure.
Up to your 720p TV, right?
Yeah. That was another conversation I had yesterday. I need to get a 4K. They're so cheap now.
Yeah, you
Like,
can
I
get
was
them for
thinking you can get them for, like-
under 400,
Yeah.
$500.
For a 4K TV, I'm still playing 720.
You can get like an off-brand one for like $200 from like
Yeah.
Korea or China for like a 40-inch 200. Like it'll probably break after 2 years.
Yeah,
but
I think I'm going to stick with some more reliable or like comfortable
Yeah.
brands, but yeah, I need to upgrade soon because 720 in 2019 is like what the fuck you
at
doing?
least do 1080.
I'm just gonna go to 4K.
No,
They're
yeah,
that cheap.
yeah.
There's no point. I gotta
There's no
future proof
point.
it. The only thing I will say, and they need to show off more games still, is, and I had this conversation with Robert. The biggest thing with this console is they need to prove why, and maybe I'm just not their target audience because I have a gaming PC, but why somebody with a PC would buy this. Because with Game Pass,
This is not for people with PC.
yeah, I think that's probably what it is. Because with Game Pass, being everywhere, Microsoft's,
Play
they want
anywhere.
all their first party titles are going to be launching on both PC and Xbox from now forward. I think at this point, and you're probably right, is that this is probably only for people who can't afford a $2,000 gaming
Yep.
PC, and this is a budget way of still getting 4K and a good thing because there's no like exclusive Halo or Gears that I can get that on my PC now. So I want to get it, but it's like I don't need it. You know what I mean?
This is for people who want the function, like the power of a PC, but either don't want to deal with the headache of a PC, aren't as tech savvy. Like some people just don't want to deal with like booting Windows or any of that. They just want to put a game
I am
in
one of those people
and just play.
I fucking hate dealing with computer shit.
Fair. And this is for them. This is like saying, oh, you don't have to feel bad about not having a PC because, hey, like you can tell your friends now, I have something that's just as capable as what you're gaming
And
on.
crossplay's a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know what? Get out of here with your PC Master Race bullshit because now I'm on this sick looking Xbox.
It won't go anywhere though. Everyone's still going to be PC
Yeah.
Master Race, but
They didn't reveal price though.
that's what I think is
And
important.
that's definitely going to be a huge factor. So if we're talking Canadian, right now,
I bet you it's like
One
$1,000
X is five
way.
is 520.
You don't think so?
There's no way. It's just that's not feasible for the market.
Canadian?
There's no way you can launch a console.
It'll be like
I'm gonna
$5.99.
say
It's
Yeah.
gonna be expensive as hell. I guarantee you. It's not gonna be a cheap console.
it's tough because Microsoft lost.
They
when-
might they might take a loss.
when they launched the Xbox with the Kinect and they were $100 more than the PS4. They got destroyed for that.
Sure.
I'm thinking this thing. There's no way it's more than 500 US, which would be
Hmm.
about 600 market value Canadian.
That's
like,
roughly what I
roughly.
was going to say.
I don't think it'll be anything. If they can get this thing under like 400, 450 US,
Good luck.
That would
if
be
they
insane.
can.
I don't know if they will be able to. My guess off the bat with it being 520 for the Xbox One X, this is probably going to come in about 600 Canadian, 500 US.
They might,
But
they
if
might
they
take a
can
loss.
get it, if
so-
they can get it to 400, holy crap, this thing might fly off the shelves.
And you know,
Yeah.
you know what they could do, because usually what happens is when like you build a new console, you sell it at a loss, and then as the parts become cheaper over time, right? Like they get like cheaper and whatever, you can
Yeah.
use the cheaper parts, and then recompense whatever you've lost. So they might do that.
And these companies, like, they don't profit off hardware. They profit off
Yeah,
software.
true.
Software and games. The hardware, most companies with consoles break even. Like,
Sure.
that's just kind of the business, right?
Mhm.
You have to take losses at certain things and then you make it up in other parts, right? But yeah, that was a huge surprise.
What's your wanted price for this console? How much do you want to pay for it?
I would say if they can, if they somehow can get it,
To $4.99 Canadian.
Yeah.
I don't think it'd be that low.
I think it'll probably be 600 Canadian,
Yeah.
but if they could get it to 500, that would be
Canadian.
nuts.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Drop the price of the Xbox One X by like,
That would probably go down to
25%.
like 350, 300 maybe.
I bet you they'd sell more of those too.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. Clear out their inventory
And this
stuff.
thing will be fully backwards compatible for both 1 and 360 games on launch, which is a huge thing
Mhm.
because like PCs, your library continues and the consoles breaking it up is
Yeah.
something of the past. People don't want to lose their games just because they get a new console, right?
Yep.
I don't know. It might be
Yeah.
a skip for me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It might be a skip for me as well.
Maybe it's time to just, if they drop the price of the Xbox One X,
It's
just go
so-
with that.
Yeah. That's the thing is like I want it, but it's like I don't need
I don't-
it.
I don't
Like,
really
what-
want it, though.
When am I gonna
Why do
play
you
a
want it?
game?
You have a day one Xbox.
Part of it is just like I've had a day one 360 and an Xbox One,
Oh
so
my
it's like I got to keep the streak going, but that doesn't really make
Okay.
sense.
Yeah.
Whatever, dude. Do you?
Yeah, it's stupid. But I don't know, just like having people come over and play, but I guess that's just not something we really do much. We're all usually just gaming online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When was the last time we all got together and gamed other than Extra Life?
PC.
I'm not really the target
No, you're not.
for this, so probably not going to get it, but it looks dope.
Yeah, it looks cool.
So,
The specs look dope in my opinion. That's about
yeah.
it.
And 4K. Cuz my graphics card can't do 4K like comfortably. Mind you, it's not like a top
I will say console 4K and PC 4K is like, if you don't know, like it's a world of difference.
Mm-hmm.
It's console 4K is usually like upscaled
Yeah.
and is not true 4K. So be
It
aware.
might be
Native.
on this thing.
Yeah, maybe. We don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
What graphics card do you have, Red?
I have the 590.
Oh,
So a GTX equivalent is like slightly better than a 1060. Not as
so
far.
you're like around where I
yeah.
am.
It's weaker than a 1070 though.
Okay, so I'm a little bit
You have a
above that.
1070?
1070 Ti.
Yeah. So my card's weaker than yours.
Orange overclock. Not about that.
I'm not. Don't know enough about it to be cool doing that stuff. And a game they kind of revealed with this was Hellblade 2.
Ooh.
So I didn't really know much about the first Hellblade, but after watching the trailer, which was like really fucking freaky, because it was like this girl was doing some like demonic like death chant with fucking blood on her face and shit. It looks sick.
Yeah, it
I
did.
looked into the first game. The first game actually looks really cool.
Didn't it do well?
It reviewed extremely well. Like Metacritic was like 88%, like super high. So I think I'm gonna throw that on my list and see if that goes on sale. It looks like a cool game, but I know a lot of people who played the first one on Twitter were pretty vocal about this being a pretty exciting announcement that they didn't
Sure.
expect happening.
What kind of game is it?
It's
Because I don't know anything about it.
I don't think my description of like the 5 to 10
I'll look
minutes
it
of
up.
research I did. It's a first
Genre?
person.
Oh, it's
or
first
no,
person.
sorry, third person. You're like, no, I'm not even gonna try. I'm gonna
Okay.
butcher explain it because I'm just going off like a 5-minute video I watched, 5-10 minute video
Cool.
I watched this morning. But
Action?
it's got action in it. It's got like a lot of hallucination and stuff, like going through the world, so you don't like things are changing.
So is it a fighter? Like
It's got fighting elements, but it's not purely a fighter.
Oh, okay.
There's
like
no
Gears of
HUD
War?
and stuff. There's no map. It's a really immersive
Ooh,
game.
Interesting.
But look it up because I don't know enough to do it justice.
Sure,
Like people who have played the game listening to me now are probably like, "What the fuck's this guy talking about?" So I won't make him more.
It's okay. That's what I do pretty much.
There, but yeah, look it up. It looks really cool. Moving along, so we don't take forever. They showed more Final Fantasy VII,
Mm-hmm.
which looks great,
Oh,
coming out
I
on PS4
want it.
and then
I don't
we
have
gotta wait
PS4 though.
we gotta wait a year before its exclusivity
Yeah.
drops. So
And also we gotta wait
2021.
longer than that. I think hopefully by year, like the second part of the game releases.
yeah, although
So-
that might be timed exclusive too.
Oh,
They might do like each yeah.
Oh.
That would not surprise me one bit.
yeah,
so
now you mention it.
don't get too excited. Another game that looked really cool. A lot of the games, the only sad thing is we didn't get a lot of gameplay. It was a lot more like
Yeah.
cinematic stuff, so we can't go off of it too much. But Godfall,
Yeah, looked
which
cool.
is a fantasy action RPG, and they also deemed it a looter slasher. Which at that point you're like a little snoozing. But the armor and stuff and the character models looked really cool. Kind of gave me Warframe vibes a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's coming out on PS5 and the Epic Game Store, and it's made by Gearbox, I believe.
Mhm.
But yeah, it just looks like a fantasy. They had like really like shiny armor with like swords and stuff like that. It looks really cool.
Take. Want to hear a hot take?
Sure.
Looter, shooter, looter slasher, looter anything
Yeah.
is the new term for here's a half-baked MMO that we don't know really how to make an MMO out of.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, so it's not that hot.
No. Not all of them are like that, but it's becoming like it's loot shoot and like loot slash is becoming like the new open world.
Yep.
Like the
Yeah.
marketing word.
Yeah.
Because like when games first started doing open world, it was like this cool thing, and now every game like comes out and it's like open world as like the what's the name for like those like words that they use?
Buzzwords?
Buzzword, yeah.
Yeah.
So the open world's like so this is kind of like looter shooters kind of becoming like the new buzzword. So I'll give you that, some of them. It looks really cool,
Yeah,
but
it
until
does.
we actually see gameplay, we can never
The
know. if it's
cinematic
gonna
looked
be.
cool.
Yeah, they made it look good in a 1-minute cinematic.
Speaking of MMOs though, a couple
Yeah.
of MMOs.
yeah, we got
that
a couple MMOs. So
have
we
me
have
interested.
the one by the Amazon Game Studio.
Oh yeah, what's it
which
called?
is called New World.
Right.
Which it showed like this red gem and these like destroyed ruins, and these people go there seeking its power,
Mhm.
and it basically like controls them, and like it looks like it's like kind of creating its own army. Their
Uh-huh.
eyes turn red and possessed, and it's got like a medieval fantasy kind of like it looks like where it takes place. Like you've got like
Yeah.
creatures and stuff, but it's all medieval tech, bows, arrows, swords. And again, we just saw cinematic. There's no gameplay, so we can't like see what it's going to be like. But the premise of it, like it visually
The cinematic.
the cinematic looked really cool.
Yep.
So they're making an MMO, and that's actually coming out.
An Amazon Games MMO.
Yeah, May 2020. So it's coming out soon.
Yeah.
Like 5.5 months away. Another one which might interest you, or definitely interest Nevin, is Magic.
Sure.
Is coming out with their own MMO called
Yep.
Magic Legends.
hmm
So I know you've been talking about Magic being something you've been getting interested in a
little
bit
bit.
more. So did this intrigue you at all? Again, they didn't show
All
much.
basically,
but-
if it's an MMO, it intrigues me, but only because it's an MMO, and because I'm looking for like a great MMO experience.
yeah.
Because I feel like every single MMO I've played in my life has let me down.
Every single one.
I think so. Yeah. I don't think I ever played in any
World
MMOs
of
that have been
Warcraft,
great.
man.
I've never played Warcraft,
World of Warcraft was dope.
so
Do MMOs interest you at all, Ethan? I know you used to play WoW back in the day.
It's just too much, man. I don't.
see
As I get older, I just keep running out
that
of time.
sentiment really like I really
They can be
I
like
appreciate that.
chores and like
I
feel
hate
like
that
a
about
job.
MMOs. I hate that.
yeah.
My favorite part about an MMO is just for a few hours being able to have your own character in another world.
The problem is they try and they're catering the game to where the money comes in, and that comes
Yeah.
from the hardcore players.
And all,
so
like,
you've
the-
got to keep there being a reason to come back every day.
That whole mechanic of like dailies and weeklies and
Yeah.
all that stuff, it's not for me.
It stresses me out
Yeah, sure.
to be like, oh shit,
Have
I
to log
didn't
in
go
today.
visit
Yeah.
Yeah.
that guy for that one item
Fucking
that I'll
I'm
never be able to
gonna
get
be so
again.
much like more behind everybody
Mhm,
else.
Yeah.
mhm.
A big thing with me with MMO still is the subscription.
Yep.
And I
Mm.
think I've talked about this before, so I won't go into too much detail, but it's just like the pressure to be playing that game because the clock's
Yep.
ticking. Like if I have a subscription and I'm playing other games, I'm like, I'm wasting my money.
There's got to be
Gotta get
better
your money's-
models for.
So I
for
mean,
paying it.
ESO does free to play now. They have a subscription to get like premium, where you get like bonus like
You know, what'd be cool.
crowns, which is like their premium currency and like access to
Yeah.
DLCs and stuff. But they don't need it.
Let me throw something out there. How much is the WoW subscription monthly?
Like 15 Canadian a month. Or
Okay.
18
I think
a
so.
month.
What if
I
there
think
was
it's
a-
15.
What if there was a model where you spent $15 and how many days you get? A month? 30 days?
30 days?
You got 30 days. Those 30 days only count when you log in.
That'd be amazing.
That's a lot, like 30 days worth of
But
time.
that's the
Yeah.
problem. Is it'd probably be way more than that.
It would have to be. They would have to
But-
give you like half or a third of a month. They'd have to give you like
Yeah.
7 days straight of playtime, because if you have a month,
Do you know
of
like
time?
how much hours that is of? Like
yeah,
a-
versus like a month
Okay,
of
so maybe not a
hours
month,
versus
maybe
a
like-
month of
I
playtime.
could get behind
Like a
minute
pay
by
to
minute.
like
Pay
per
time.
minute.
Yeah.
I could get behind a model like that. Obviously, it would have to be restructured
Fair.
because, like Ethan said, like
Yeah,
that'd be
you're right.
insane value. But I could get behind something like that. You
It'd
know,
be like the old way of doing cell phones.
Yeah, sure.
pay
Pay per
pay
minute
as you
or
go.
whatever.
Yeah,
Pay as you go. Yeah, that's what's
That's
called.
how I'll make it. in my MMO.
like I could definitely get behind that. I don't know if companies will because it probably is much more profitable
Yeah.
to do this. If like not for two reasons. One, you get people paying, and two, you get them playing more because they probably
Yeah.
have the same guilt I do, where it's like shit, I should be playing this game
I
because
hate that. Why do games function off of FOMO and guilt?
dude, they have people like we saw
Yeah.
that guy's thing. They have
Yeah.
psychologists who come and like know how to like manipulate. It's fucked. And then actually, yeah, I guess it's for MMOs. Another game they showed, which this is the one why when Ethan brought up XCOM, I wanted to talk about this a little bit. Gears Tactics. This game looks so good.
It's like literally Gears, but
It's XCOM Gears,
Yeah.
and I've never played a game like this. I've played turn-based
have.
games like,
yeah, there you go.
but these ones operate a little different, don't? Are they really similar?
I think they're like you played
Okay.
Advance Wars, you've played
Yeah, so
or
it's Fire Emblem.
Fire
So
Emblem.
it is really similar to that.
I think so. Yeah,
Okay.
I would say so.
So it's basically Gears meets XCOM. It takes place near the beginning of the war. So Marcus Phoenix and all of his journey was like 7 years when the humans were
hmm
getting their asses kicked. The humans are still getting their asses kicked, but it's a lot earlier into the war. Sorry, I'm watching the cinematic too. It looks so good. But the main boss is a boss that they've brought in from the comics, which I haven't read yet, but apparently he's a really, really cool boss. And you're basically just having to stop him. I think he's like creating he's doing some
army.
bad stuff that
Okay.
he shouldn't be doing, and you
Yeah.
got to stop him. But they're like it said, they're 40-hour campaign. So this isn't like a half-baked game. Like, this is a full-fledged like
40 hours.
Gears experience.
Yeah.
You've got a whole bunch of characters. You can upgrade their guns. They showed lancers with drum barrels, which we've never seen before. Which, like, dude,
Yeah.
imagine a lancer with a friggin' drum barrel. Like, that sounds so sick.
How many shots in the Lancer already? A lot.
A lot. So a drum barrel's like, holy
lot, a
crap,
lot.
yeah, a lot. And I love the Gears universe.
Yeah.
Visually, it looks great. When you go in for the kill, it like zooms into like the third
Yeah,
person,
it looks
like, as if
literally
you were
like
playing
Gears.
a Gears game, which
Yeah.
is really cool. It's just as gory as ever. And it's also got a couple characters I'm not going to spoil. Watch it, but that people might be familiar with. And the biggest thing was Rod Ferguson came out, who's like head of Coalition,
Yeah.
and said that Gears Tactics will have no microtransactions, cosmetic or thing, literally none. And that is good because I got really excited about Gears 5 when they said there was going to be like none of this like aggressive stuff and it was all cosmetics, but their storefront is a joke. Like the amount of stuff they charge for and the quality is so bad. So to hear that every customization and cosmetic in the game is in the game, that makes me a
Nice.
lot happier. And that's why I was like interested in XCOM, because like I'm going to be getting into this through Gears Tactics, and it gave me XCOM vibes from watching it. So I'm super stoked for that. Do you have any interest in playing a Gears tactical shooter, either of
Yeah,
you?
sure. I would play it.
Depends.
If XCOM ends up being a lot of fun, do you see yourself playing like that, but like a Gears setting? I know you've never really been too big on Gears.
Would you
but-
play a Zelda tactics game?
I'd probably play it just because it's like honestly anything Zelda pretty much. Although that isn't true. Like I haven't played what's that Hyrule Warriors? That's the hacker slasher, which
yeah.
just looks really dumb.
The fact that they charge $80 for it, it's like,
Yeah.
come on.
I'd be open to the idea of the Zelda theme that game, but I don't know. It's a new game mode, game type
For you.
genre that I'm not super into. So
Yeah, that's fair.
we'll see how XCOM goes. I'm not like looking at it as like, oh, it looks cool. It's not like, oh my god, give it to me now.
Mhm.
Yeah. Kind of like me.
Gotcha.
I'm like, yeah, inject it. Let's go.
It looks cool though.
Yeah. And it's coming out April 28th, 2020. So it's
Is there
coming
gonna
out
be
a lot
multiplayer?
sooner.
Because that'd be cool.
It didn't specify in the trailer. I'm not sure. But it's coming out a lot sooner than I thought. So I'm looking forward to this game. Another game that they showed off, which is like a really goofy game, and I only want it if it's cheap because it looks fun as hell. It's called Maneater, and it's this game about being sharks and just killing people.
What?
And it like starts off by saying, humans kill like this many sharks a year, whereas shark attacks only kill about 5 humans. Time to even the odds. And you're just like this shark, and you're like killing people who are on boats. You're killing people who are swimming, and you like can upgrade and evolve your shark to the point where you have like electric like fins and shit. Like it looks like the most goofy, over the top, stupid game, and it looks so fun because of that. Like you like
Oh, yeah.
Ethan just showed you, like you literally, this guy's on this giant boat, and you're just this great way, and you just pick him up. Like you can go on land. You're be in people's swimming pools. See, electric. Yeah.
Blow up a ship, dude.
You could blow up. It just looks like the most like over the top goofy shit ever, where you're just a shark that's just killing people, and you upgrade yourself. So if this game is like a cheaper like $20-$30 game, I could easily see myself getting this just because it looks like so freaking.
You'd be cool.
Stupid.
A multiplayer mode, humans versus sharks.
Yeah, like a Evolve or Left 4
Yeah.
Dead kind of thing. Yeah.
Gives me like Saints Row vibes.
Yeah.
Sure.
Kind of like a mini gamer sort of thing that would
Yeah.
be on like their also
Transform into a shark.
yeah, because Saints Row had like some of the activities you could do throughout the world were so freaking over the top, like insurance fraud where you had to juggle yourself bouncing on the cars to make them less money. Definitely Saints Row vibes. And so we talked about Resident Evil 4, about how it has been on like every system. There's another game that has been on almost every system, and that is Skyrim. That game has been brought to everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
There's one place it hasn't fully been brought to yet,
Where's that?
and that is the world of Elder Scrolls Online.
Right.
So as if we haven't had enough Skyrim, Elder Scrolls Online would like to give you some more
All of
Skyrim.
Skyrim.
Yeah.
Or some of Skyrim.
I don't like it. They're bringing the whole region of Skyrim, but I don't know like
Sure.
what it's going to look like compared to Skyrim,
Mhm.
especially because this is like 1,000 or 1,200 years before that Skyrim, so things and everything will look different. But they only showed a little bit. There's going to be a global reveal event on January 16th to fully reveal the new expansion, but elsewhere it's coming to an end. They had a cool cinematic of you defeating a dragon boss, which I can assume is the final boss to that expansion. And yeah, they're going to Skyrim. So if you haven't had enough of your Fus Roda, you can go there in ESO, which I just thought was funny because like there's already jokes about Skyrim being everywhere, and now it's like bleeding into other Elder Scrolls games.
I always get a little, when I hear Skyrim, I feel just a little sad.
Why?
Because I never beat it. I always start game
Dude,
playthroughs, and
I don't like it that much. I think Oblivion. Oh, actually, Oblivion is better. But Nick always hates on Skyrim. Skyrim's so good. Nick says
Maybe-
like that's where like
maybe I
Elder
should, my next
Bethesda
playthrough should
started.
just be no mods.
Nope. Yeah, that's your problem. This guy literally boots up Skyrim and spends like 3 hours trying to get mods that like end up crashing his game or not working properly, and then he stops playing. Just play the freaking game.
But is the game actually that good?
It's not like a godsend like some people say, but it's, in my opinion, it is a really fun open
The
world
plot,
RPG.
the main story is good?
Main story is pretty good,
Okay.
but the exploration and like the dragonborn abilities and stuff like that, I really enjoyed it.
It just seemed like Grand Theft Auto Skyrim, if that makes any sense. It seemed like light. Like, I wish it was more GTA V and not so much Vice City. Like, the scope. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, I have to travel to this faraway village, and it's like 3 steps down the road. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, but the world is still pretty big.
okay.
But I get what you're saying.
The immersion was broken.
Fair.
Baby rage is what I'm trying to say.
It's a good game,
My
though.
immersion, baby
Really
rage.
good.
Okay. That's why all my
better than
mods are
it says.
immersive mods. Because
Yeah.
like-
But you're trying to just play it.
yeah.
My rule, and I mean, not everyone needs to live by this, is I play vanilla first, mod after.
Sure.
Experience what the devs did.
What games have you modded?
Well, I did mod Skyrim a little bit.
Oh, nice.
The only other games I've really done is like Left 4 Dead. So I guess like, but I would never want to mod a game until I played it first, just to see what it's like. Aside from like maybe texture packs and stuff.
Sure.
Just to,
The HD res packs and all
yeah,
that.
stuff like that. But the only thing is, it's a big commitment. It's a long game.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But it's a lot of fun. So we also got the Apex Holo Day Bash, because
Is that the
just holograms? So that's what's going on. I talked about that in my what I've been playing. A game that the cinematic didn't really show anything about the game, but it takes place in a world that you love. They showed a game called Dark Alliance, a D&D RPG with a very interesting trailer. I know you weren't too big of a fan of the weird.
To be honest, I don't
cinematography.
actually know much about the world of D&D. Like D&D is set in somewhere called on a continent or an island. The official is set somewhere in like the Forgotten Realms or Faerun.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact like lore or anything behind D&D. Admittedly, to be honest, but a lot of my interest of it comes from like the idea of cooperative storytelling and coming together to tell a story.
So with a video game that's branded itself as something with D&D related, you can hope that this incorporates, the character building and the storytelling and stuff that a D&D campaign comes with.
Yeah.
So as somebody who makes their own campaigns and everything, is a video game, like, do you think they can do it well enough that it's engaging, or would you just every 9 times out of 10 just be like, I'd rather just play an actual D&D campaign?
Well, first of all, I'd rather play an actual D&D campaign pretty much over any game. But also, like, if this game has I'm not invested into the D&D lore, or world. Like, that's not where my interest is.
You make your own worlds.
Yeah, sure.
You just use like the races and the rule book and stuff like that. Yeah.
My interest of Dungeons and Dragons has nothing to do with like their stories and like the legends and all that stuff. Like, for me, it's like some people are about that. They love like knowing about the Dawn War and like all these like events that have happened in D&D lore and history. But for me, it's not about that. So I don't know how interested I would be in this.
Okay.
Yeah, because for me, I don't know. For me, it's like getting to see my friends at the table.
Yeah.
Which is the nice thing, and like just having a laugh, and occasionally having a moment where like someone tears up or someone like does a really epic shit, and that's it. It's more like a communal get together with my friends kind of thing. I'm not really invested into like being a stickler for like this deity like overthrew this deity, and then like I don't.
So say this game let you like create campaigns or whatever,
custom games
and stuff.
Ooh, that'd be interesting.
But you like it would, and like it would, you'd be able to like,
if I could create games
you're doing
for others,
like the combat, and you'd actually like have your character like fighting and stuff like that. I don't know if it's gonna be based on what it is. It doesn't look like that, but if it was like that, would that be something you'd still want to play?
If I could create experiences for others, I would do it.
Yeah.
Hey, I did the Minecraft,
like Mario Maker, but Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah,
I did the raid thing, the mansion thing.
Yeah,
I love doing stuff
dope,
like that.
Which was dope.
I love doing stuff like that. So if I could, and there is a game that lets you kind of do that, which is, I think it's also a D&D game, which lets like one player be the DM.
Oh yeah.
In a game, and like up to 4 other people can play the campaign, and the DM will like put monsters down wherever or like stuff like that. So it's kind of like Forge mode.
Okay.
One dude is the Forge god, and in Halo, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the Guilty Spark.
Yeah. Exactly.
Cool. I guess D&D is not something that really interests you.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it could be. I think it could be useful for you. Like, you never know. Everyone's gonna move far away from each other one day. Like, I think I haven't looked at the trailer or anything about what it is, but
it's just a cinematic. Doesn't really give you an insight on what the actual game.
It seems the cinematic was pretty brutal and hacky and slashy.
It was hacky slashy with heavy metal.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully it's something that you can at least enjoy.
Yep. I also don't like classic like D&D fantasy tropes.
Which it had, like the red-haired dwarf.
Yeah, I'm over it, to be honest. Lord of the Rings will forever be the epitome of classic fantasy tropes for me, and beyond that, I'm trying to invent like new stories.
Yeah.
I'm over like medieval Europe. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get into like the desert,
medieval North America,
or like other places, or like places like ideas and tropes that haven't really been explored too much.
No, Imagine this: a wood elf living in the woods, just classic elves.
Okay,
but he's black.
Blown.
Mind blown.
Mind blown.
It's still, it's not that like.
I know. I'm just kidding.
It's not so much about like skin color or anything.
Yeah.
It's more about like, for me, anyways. It's like I really like the idea of telling stories that are, and I struggle with. Like, I'm not great at it, but I want to tell the kind of stories that are very morally ambiguous and neutral. So it's hard to know what to do. It's hard
Whereas
to.
Lord of the Rings is very good.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings, like
versus
the
evil.
bad guy literally lives here.
Yeah.
This is the bad guy.
Yeah.
Go here if you want to beat up the bad guy. You know.
Yeah, it's a very good versus evil story.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you have to buy into the tropes because they're tropes for a reason. You know, and so for me, I'm always trying to like ride the line of how do I tell a unique story doing my own thing.
Yeah.
It's tough.
No,
it's definitely tough.
Couple more here before everyone's getting too bored. One game that people thought was dead is making a comeback. I'm more.
Okay.
Wolf Among Us 2.
Book the viewers.
So for anyone who doesn't know,
Okay.
it's a Telltale game. Wolf Among Us was the first one, obviously, and 2 was announced before the whole Telltale folding, closure on all their games
Right.
you know, stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Telltale, we talked about this months ago. Telltale was then picked up and remade, and they with all the licenses, but a lot of the former employees are not working for them anymore. But this game is being revived. So it was announced, then they folded. So it's a re-announcement. But the company, the Telltale now, is working with former employees who formed their own studio to then bring this game back to life. So it's new Telltale, but with old Telltale employees. So it's still going to be true to the series. And I know Robert, for sure, in our group of friends, loved the original. And he was freaking out because he wasn't able to watch his
What
live.
is this game about, The Wolf Among Us?
It's just another one of their story-driven games, and I don't know too much, but I think it's like fantasy world.
Okay.
I think you're a cop.
True. And some fantasy elements,
Or
like
like a
modern day
detective or
fantasy.
something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Again, this is like me explaining.
Hey, it's good enough.
I don't know too much. Look into it, but a lot of people are super happy because when they folded, and like this game that was announced just was like, oh yeah, we're not making it anymore. You know, that sucks, right? So it's getting the sequel that it
Who's
deserves.
it being made by?
It's being made with the former employees of Telltale in
okay.
cooperation with new Telltale, which is good because then it means like, you know, the people who made the first game are here to help.
Yeah.
It's not just like this new company just being like, hey, this did well, let's make our take on it, right? Like it's going to be true to the series, hopefully. So, and I'm pretty sure the voice actors and everyone's coming back, so should be good. Last 2 games I want to talk on will be really good for you and I, Ethan, not so much. So Riot Games, they had their anniversary event and announced a whole bunch of games that they're developing. But then they also announced the Riot Forge. And the Riot Forge is essentially their publishing brand. So they're working with other devs because they have acknowledged that there are talented devs across the world who could tell many stories from their universe that's huge that they don't have the time or resources to make.
Is your universe that
every
huge?
game.
Just kidding. Continue.
So they've announced this program called Riot Forge where they partner with devs of their choice to bring these stories to life through many different genres, and they will publish it. And they actually announced 2 different games at the Game Awards that are coming out through this Riot Forge program, both of which looked pretty cool.
Sure.
So the first one is called Ruined King, and we know in League there is a weapon called the Blade of the Ruined King, but we don't really know who this Ruined King is, or at least I don't. It might be in the lore that I haven't read yet, but
I don't understand.
I think he's something from like the Shadow Isles or something. But this game had a very spooky trailer. Showed Thresh's lantern, showed a whole bunch of souls flying over, about taking over and bringing darkness to Runeterra. And it showed
a lot of ocean.
Showed a lot of ocean and Bilgewater.
Yep.
And from the little bit we got, it is actually going to be a turn-based RPG, which is interesting because that's nothing like anything that Riot's making right now. You will be playing as different LoL champions, so different League of Legends champions that will be in this game. In the lore, it takes place after Gangplank died, although he didn't actually die, or
Wait,
he came
dies?
back. He dies at one point. So it takes place when Bilgewater, like a whole bunch of shit happens after his death in Bilgewater. And it's going to be taking place in both the Shadow Isles and Bilgewater, so it's going to have a lot of like Thresh and the pirates.
Maybe
like
Alawi.
Misfortune.
Isn't Callista also from one of those places?
Callista might be.
Hecarim.
Cho'Gath, Hecarim, stuff like that. So it'll be interesting. A turn-based game using like the lore or the LoL characters and stuff like that, and exploring this. And just the setting got a very like dark, eerie tone to it. So I'm excited to see what they have. Again, we didn't get gameplay, which sucks because that's what everyone wants to see. But it sounds cool. Are you at all interested in something like this?
I'll look at it. I'm gonna if it's like a bajillion dollars,
I doubt that.
probably won't buy.
Probably half a jillion.
True. I don't know. Games just nowadays have it's hard for me to be interested in a lot of games.
Fair. But are you excited for like the LoL universe to be expanded upon and like take into, different interpretations and genres aside from just like the MOBA?
Yeah.
Seeing what a dev team outside of Riot can do with this IP.
Yeah, because
I'm very
I think
curious.
there is like I'm not very curious. I'm like cautiously curious.
Okay.
Because I think the universe is cool if they can pull it off right. Like,
And the good thing is you have Riot Publishing, so you know that they're still at least overseeing the project.
yeah.
So
I guess what I'm saying is I'm very cynical. I don't know why,
yeah,
but I just am. Like,
that's fair.
yeah,
At least you acknowledge it.
yeah, like
There are people who are cynical who are in denial about
I don't
it. So.
like. I don't know if it's going to be a good game or
Yeah,
not.
I mean,
and
nobody knows.
and
at this
also
point.
because like I don't want it to kill League for me. Like I'm really scared of these things
Well, considering
because like
it's a single player turn based RPG game, I don't think it's gonna.
not like the gameplay of League of Legends. Like I don't want them to do things in this game that like ruin my headcanon of League, if that makes any sense.
Okay. And like retconning some stuff that you've come up with.
Yeah, because
That's fair.
Like that's just a minor thing. That's
Yeah.
not like my main thing. I don't know. I'm trepidatious.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to it a little bit. So
That's fair. And the next game, which also looks really cool, is called Convergence.
with
And-
no E in the version.
Or sorry, Convergence. So it's CONV-RGENCE.
Yep.
So I'm not just purposely
Mhm.
pronouncing it that way. This one stars a very familiar character in Echo
Mhm.
who manipulates time. This one is a single player platformer.
This one has me more interested
which sounds so cool.
than the Ruin
You
King.
play as Echo,
Yeah.
and again, we haven't seen too much, but from what I get, it's going to have the manipulating time be a very main mechanic in the platforming. And I love platformers that throw in these really cool mechanics to manipulate stuff. So maybe you have to like as you're going, stuff breaks and you have to like warp time back to make the platform move while you're
knows?
falling or
There could
whatever.
be so many cool ways to
But
do it.
a platformer, if you had asked me, what games were coming out of the Forge, platformer would not have been like one of the ones I thought
Yeah.
that a team would go. So it's really interesting to see, and the art style looked really cool. The way they
Mhm.
depicted Zon,
Mhm.
Piltover and Zon. So it's another one where we need to see more. Unfortunately, that's kind of the story of this Game Awards. It's a lot of cinematics, no gameplay, but just the idea of a platformer taking place in the League universe sounds really cool for me.
I'm you know what I'm looking forward to? The animated series,
Yeah,
movie or whatever.
the animated show that comes out next year on
What's it called?
Netflix. Oh my god.
Whatever.
Am I blanking? I can't remember. It's tip of my tongue.
I want to
but
see that.
What is it?
the League animated series that's coming to Netflix.
Like that, I think will be my entry into like the League universe, and if I like it,
accepting the
I will
the lore and the canon.
Yeah. Because right now in my head, Summoner still
Something to do
exists.
with magic.
Yeah, you're right. It's like Arcane or Arc.
I think it might be Arcane.
Arcane.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
There you go.
True.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had a feeling it was something magic, so there you go. Good guess. But yeah, I'm happy to see this happening. So, overall, pretty cool show. For those interested, Game of the Year went to Sekiro, which
Shadows died
was not what I had guessed going into that. I hadn't played most of the titles on the list, so I didn't really have an opinion on which one deserved it. But just on from what I'd seen online and everything like that, I didn't think Sekiro. It got praised really high, but I thought that something like Death Stranding or Resident Evil might have taken it. So it's nice to see Sekiro get recognition because I know that game, although it came out really early in the year, a lot of people praised it as like one of the best that's come from Software.
I need to play that.
So
I also need to play Neo. I also want to play Nier Automata.
apparently that game's really good.
So many good games on the PlayStation.
Yep, and isn't Nier on
PC?
PC?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
So that's it for the Game Awards. Now I know you had a couple things that you linked. You wanted to mention.
Oh yeah, I linked
one of them you read about. which didn't make you too happy.
Wait,
The
what?
mobile esports being
Oh,
like,
right.
in the top 5 most watched things. It's a sad day.
Yeah, so we live in a world where mobile esports.
EA knew all about it last year when they showed their freaking Command and Conquer mobile.
EA
casted
Diablo, I
game.
guess. Or wait, EA doesn't make Diablo.
Did you say EA Diablo?
I did.
That is Activision Blizzard.
Immortals. That's what I'm talking about.
Diablo, yeah.
Oh well. I mean, I'm not terribly upset about it. It's
Yeah,
just
but
it's
it's
just an interesting point of note.
Mobile games, why?
Yeah. Did you know the Olympics said if they were gonna allow esports into the Olympics, it would be VR only?
Because there's still like a physical thing to it. Just again,
I don't
I remember
understand.
we had this huge episode about
did.
this. Make it its own thing.
Yeah.
Make the video game Olympics or something.
Someone should just make it, but they can't use like Olympics as trademarked. So like
Yeah, so video game like
World Cup,
celebration, whatever. Do something like that. Don't mix it.
Esports World
It's
Cup.
It's just gonna cost too much.
The
controversy.
EWC.
And like, yeah, just having VR like. VR games suck for right now for the most part.
It just seems like they're trying too hard to make a collaboration happen.
Yeah, for the sake of just doing it, not
Yeah,
because they actually are interested.
Yeah,
Just
I
like,
agree.
oh, we'll shut them up if we give them this. It's
Keep
like
them separate.
I don't need to watch Canada versus the States in Beat Saber. Like I'm okay. I'm
Have
good,
you?
thanks.
There's one VR competitive game that seems really cool. It's a shooter. It's a first-person shooter, and I was watching it on Twitch, and it's like teams of 4 or 5, and the
Is
competitors.
it called Squad?
No, I don't think so. It's
What's it
Squad,
called?
the modern military game.
It is that one?
No, it's not that one.
Oh.
So all the competitors stand like in a box, like in a 10-foot by 10-foot like taped off area with like the VR sensors. So like they have their own little like place to move in, I guess. And the game's about at least what I watched, it was 2 teams. One team was on attack. They were pushing a payload, but they were floating. Yeah, they were floating. It's
What
zero
do you mean
G.
they're floating?
Oh.
And
The real people?
no, in game.
Oh.
In
I was
game,
like, what?
in game they were
just see these
floating.
people floating around with their VR headsets on.
Yeah, in game they were floating, and like the map was like 3D. So like there was no
that would
correct,
make me so freaking dizzy.
there was no correct orientation, and there was like just like have you read any of
Can
you
you
read?
imagine standing there, but your perspective is you just spinning? I feel like I'd fall over. I'd get
Well, some of the
dizzy.
players were even just like they were on the ground.
Yeah,
And like it was whack. It was pretty cool.
that'd be so disorienting.
Have any of
I
you
need
watched?
to know what it's called.
Have any of you watched or read Ender's Game?
No.
Okay, well, it seemed kind of like the point is moot, but it seemed kind of like one of the things in there, and it seemed really cool. Like they were like taking cover behind like these floating like walls, like just chunks of. It's hard to like kind of.
Yeah, I'll have to look it up and see.
It was basically this cart being pushed through 3D space,
okay.
and all around this cart is this map, and the map isn't like a square or anything. It's just like it can be, and it was an organic shape, and there was cover pieces that just were floating stationary, like big boulders or rocks or walls or whatever, and like there was like some people who were hiding behind the cart while pushing it and like poke out to shoot, and then they would like float off and like booster off towards an obstacle,
Yeah.
and then but it was seemed interesting. I don't know exactly what it was called, but
What VR headsets were they playing on?
I don't know either.
Yeah, I wonder which one it was for.
But it was cool. It was interesting.
Yeah.
I'm excited for VR, but
The future, kind of.
I think
Yeah.
Alex is gonna set the standard.
What?
The Half-Life Alex.
You think so?
oh,
Just from that demo they showed, it looked like a lot higher. Again, I don't play VR games, but I've looked at a bunch online, and maybe I've just been looking at like the less successful ones.
Yep.
But it looks like it's done a lot better and a lot more clean than
Sure.
a lot of the VR games. And hopefully that kind of sets the standard, because I feel like right now a lot of VR games are just like these half-assed
Sure.
like
Tech demos.
tech demos.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And I want to see VR hit a point that it can get to and just be a lot more fun than
Do you know what my main issue with VR is right now?
what's that?
Thank you for asking. My
No
main
problem.
issue with VR right now is it's too low res.
Yeah,
The hardware isn't cheap enough to
looks
mass
like
produce.
Fast and Furious Crossroads.
Yeah. It's I think like the best VR headsets are like 720p or something or
Yeah.
1080p.
What's the index? Does it do 1080?
I think so.
I would hope so. It's $1,300.
Yeah.
That shit's expensive.
But even then, for VR, 1080 isn't good enough because you're right there.
That's true.
you need higher res, which means you need better computing power that's pushing the VR game, like your PC. Like getting like VR, like being able to advance the world of VR is going to take a while.
Yeah.
While all the stuff that it surrounds it becomes cheaper and cheaper.
Valve
like-
Index is actually above 1080p.
What is it, 1440?
It's 1440 by 1600.
How many frames per second does it do? How many hertz is the frame refresh
120
rate?
hertz.
Whew, that's pretty beefy.
That is pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
But even then, that's not a lot for VR. Like
Yeah,
you need like
it's one of the better headsets out there, but
yeah,
It's probably the best.
yeah, probably. But like in a ideal VR world, I would be like 4K, 8K, you know, like
Yeah.
per eye.
and
We'll
we
get
know how
there.
technology goes. It'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ethan, I cut you off there.
No, I just think there's a lot of cool games, but it's just hard to get into it because there's a huge paywall for one,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and then also it's just not fully fleshed out enough where it's a game. It's try this.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Try this like ability we saw in it that we can
Yeah.
make or whatever.
I
And-
still feel like all the VR headsets. I remember when they announced Oculus Rift dev kit.
Yeah.
I still feel like we're in that stage of
Yeah, sure.
we're
I
still
agree.
developing this.
I agree.
Become a developer and
Yeah,
help
yeah.
us
Yeah.
with your feedback.
I
I
agree.
kind of want to get in on like the second wave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like I feel
and
like
I still feel like
I
it's
feel like
all
we're
just
still
like
first wave.
1.5.
Yeah.
I agree.
Not 2.
I want to get in when like they revisit the whole VR thing and they have like a second wave where things are cheaper and
better
like,
sensors.
like
That's a
everything
huge one.
is-
Better
yeah.
controllers, sensors, like haptic feedback and all
Yeah.
that stuff. That's important.
And yeah, like you said, like price is a huge thing. We were talking about consoles, you know, like what a friendly price is. The Valve Index is double the price, more than double the price of any console
Mhm.
out there, and that's just for the headset, right?
Yeah.
So,
It doesn't come with the controllers?
oh no,
Oh, it
sorry, it
does.
does.
Okay.
But that's a huge commitment, right? And like not everyone's gonna have. The
And there's
money
like
to
two
drop
good
on that.
VR games to like
Yeah,
what
you-
game are you going to play when you get the Index?
Beat Saber and,
Super
Al-
hot.
and Alex.
Super hot.
That's true. That game does look really good.
There's
for
a
VR.
few cool shooters, military style shooters, medieval style slasher games
Yeah.
that I'm like, dang, I really want to try this. But like,
but 1,300
But
bucks.
the
Yeah,
thing is, you could
exactly.
play them on a Vive or an Oculus.
sure,
You
for
don't
sure.
need the
The
index to play
No.
those
Yeah.
games.
And
But,
that's
like-
why I think Alex is going to be like the first game to like
Hopefully.
set the standard. Like,
to
look,
sort of,
look what we can do. Look what VR can be.
not necessarily
Hopefully.
future proof,
Hopefully, yes.
but
Yeah.
to be more of the leading edge
Yeah, exactly.
of it. Robert just said that the Pokemon Go update is live.
Oh, where your buddies follow you? Oh man, he showed me a picture of like Lugia flying above you, bro. Literally, Lugia's gonna be my buddy the whole time. I don't even care about getting candies now. Just want cool Pokemon flying above me.
It is live.
Nice.
I also think headsets are too bulky.
How do you slim
I've
it
only
down
ever
though?
worn. I've
right.
only ever worn one. Or no, it's actually a lie. I did wear the PlayStation one. The PlayStation one felt like a little some.
Yeah.
I think it's because it's older too, though. It's
Yeah,
pretty
it was.
old.
It was years ago. And then what's the one Matthew has?
Oculus.
Oculus.
No.
It wasn't the Vive.
Yeah, he has the Oculus.
I think he has Oculus. Yeah, I wore the Oculus, and that didn't feel too bad. The controllers were pretty cool too. Like
Sure.
they're like the curved controllers with like the thumbsticks. Or
I just need a
whatever.
pair of glasses. Like that's the day I'm gonna buy into VR, when it's just like some slim goggles that I put over my
Yeah.
face. Way into the future.
Now, for VR, do you have to wear contacts?
No.
You can put them over your glasses.
Yeah, because
or...
they adjust.
Okay,
Yeah, there are settings for people who wear glasses.
that's cool.
I didn't know that.
Because I know you don't really wear contacts too much anymore, right? Yeah. So as somebody like you, that'd be kind of shitty to have to wear contacts to play.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Or at least I hope they'd adjust. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure the Oculus does.
I think you can move the lens
Yeah.
inside or something.
Yeah.
I'm not
and then
sure.
you linked one more article this morning. If you wanted to talk about that quickly.
Oh yeah. You know how I always talk about like esports and like new regions being kicked off. So apparently Malaysia has put forward like a 5-year plan to invigorate and create esports within
Like
the
funding
country
and everything is coming in, like
from the government.
from the
apparently.
government, which
So
is
that's interesting.
yeah.
I don't know what that means necessarily, but what's
So cute.
oh the new
Oh,
loading
the
screen?
new loading screen.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
black now. Sorry.
I saw it. I
But-
saw it.
You know, it's cool.
It's just cool to see, where we're coming. And it's good to see that some like governments are recognizing. It's like putting money into like sports programs. Like
Yeah,
it's just another activity, right? So
I agree.
cool.
I wonder, do you guys ever think like esports merch will ever be big as like real sports merch, because that's
Isn't
where
it
that's where
already
real
pretty big?
sports makes so much money, right?
Jerseys and stuff.
Jerseys, shoes, like
When I went to the when we went to the LCS thing, there were tons of people who bought the jerseys. The C9 jerseys sold out.
true.
I mean, that's only people at the event. It's
Yeah.
people at home, but more and more I'm seeing people with like shirts and hoodies and stuff. I think it's gonna come down to like how teams brand themselves, but I
Yeah.
could see it getting up there. Maybe not to the extent that sports is at, simply because like with like
But it
sports
also
teams,
has
they
taken sports
stay
so
there.
long.
They're in that city, and they like they
Yeah.
don't move. Whereas a lot of like video game and esports, they come into the limelight, they fade away.
Do you think that matters?
Players
though?
move.
We live in such a global like internet world. Do you think it really, do you think people really are holding on to that? Like especially younger people.
Also,
like
that
that.
happens in real sports too. Players retire, they get injured, they never play again, they get traded.
But the thing is, and I think to kind of go more on that point, is that a lot of people kind of follow, at least in the early stages, you follow a brand because of like a streamer or a player you like. There's no like loyalty, like, oh, I'm not from
Yeah.
Cloud9, I'm not from TSM. Like, whereas I'm from Toronto, I cheer for Toronto sports.
Just
and
wait
where-
until we have like
you
the
don't have
city
that
called
loyalty.
Cloud9.
And like I was talking with Andre about this. Like he's a Double fan, and he bought CLG and TSM merch, and he's like, I'm just done, because he's like, now he's on Liquid. He's like, what if he goes to another team? He's like, I can't keep buying merch for all these teams. So it really depends on how well brands make brand loyalty a thing, and like, you know, buying into like the organizations, you know, buying into Cloud9, buying into TSM for the merch to sell more than just for like the players they acquire. Personally,
I think it might be different than that. I think
so?
I think it might be that the first like really popular player, if esports survives into the next, 5-10 years, like the next up and coming big like Overwatch superstar or League superstar builds a brand for himself and has merch for himself and doesn't necessarily associate that with his team or whatever. Like that way,
then that wouldn't be like esports. Like you were asking me, like if they all sell.
I think that's esports.
You
no?
think so? You think like Shroud, for instance,
Yeah.
selling his stuff is in the same category?
If Shroud was like,
'Cause
if,
he's built up his own brand. Like he's got his own logo and
yeah,
everything. Right?
so I would say like if Bjergsen had his own like clothing line,
yeah.
hell yeah.
Okay, so I thought we were just kind of more sticking to like team jerseys. So you're just talking about like just apparel in
No,
general?
I think that is the new way to go forward though. That's what I'm talking about. Like I think like team jerseys are old hat is what I'm trying to
Okay,
get at.
so you think it's more like player clothing lines?
Yeah,
and
because
stuff.
like you said, players move so often.
well, and
it's
certain,
hard-
like the esports just live and die. Like they
Yeah,
come into the
exactly.
limelight
Brand
and they
loyalty
fade away.
doesn't really exist in esports to me.
Yeah.
Because it's so like ambiguous. Like I'm not from Toronto, right? Like my parents and my grandfather and his father before him weren't all diehard Leaf fans, or weren't
Yeah.
all.
It's different, right? Like
Exactly,
these
it
teams are
is different.
sponsored based on the team or the company that sponsored them, not the location, right? It's like
yeah.
Samsung or whatever. It's like, oh, I have an Apple phone. I'm not gonna be like, oh, I like the Samsung team or whatever. But
Yeah.
there's no brand
Just a
loyalty
very different
to.
reason for being a fan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that reason is like individuals.
For sure. I
definitely.
think players sell the brand a lot.
So I think the first popular player to come out and like start making like merch and like hoodies and
The merch scene for Twitch streamers, I know already, like maybe not so much competitive, like
just casual streamers.
yeah, like people who are more into ranked instead of actual like streaming on Twitch. Like Twitch merch for streamers and content creators already is pretty much the biggest way they make money.
Yeah. A lot of streamers now have merch, like
There you
even
go.
smaller streamers.
Yeah. You make bank.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And
I know
like I
it-
said, like Shroud has his own full clothing line now.
Yeah,
He
on
used to be
Jinx.
partnered with he's with Jinx, and he's
Yeah.
got his own like logo and everything.
Shirts.
Like
So now
shirts.
imagine
He's got weapon skins in video games that he plays. Like he's turned his brand into
Yeah.
something freaking huge. Like PUBG had Shroud skins. I think
Mhm.
Siege had Shroud skins.
They
like,
still do,
Yeah.
for sure.
so imagine like a double lift
yeah.
in front of whatever 30 million people
I
who
think you're
watch
right.
the World
I
Finals
don't think teams as
wearing his
much-
own like branded jersey. Like I'm sure
Yeah.
there'd have to be agreements with Riot. I'm sure there'd have to be agreements with like his team that he's on or whatever. But I think it could be done.
Mhm.
I think the play is merch, not just
Buying into like a team.
jerseys. I mean,
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah.
I think
agree.
the jerseys will be there, but I don't think.
Yeah.
I think the whole encompassing of merch is.
I do love
I
my
agree.
C9 jersey, but yeah, I agree.
Because I think also the merch, the jerseys and stuff, it's not run by the streamer or whatever. It's run through either the company that
Mhm.
owns the game or the team that owns or the company that owns the team.
I also think
Yeah.
jerseys are like out of fashion in general nowadays. Like, do you really want to buy a jersey? Like, personally, I don't really
I
care
do.
for.
But I come
Okay,
from
fair.
like a big sports family who's
Fair. That's fair.
I grew up like watching sports in my house.
I'm talking more about esports though.
But I think
Oh,
that
right,
nature
right.
of me like watching
Translates
the Leafs,
over?
watching the Jays, watching the Raptors a little bit, and I've always wanted to wear the jersey. Like my dad grew up, he coached teams, he wore a lot of jerseys. So
Yeah.
jerseys have just kind of been a thing that I've.
Do you think that'll?
I've
Here's the
worn,
question: do you think
and
that'll pass on to your kid
maybe
the love of jerseys? Because if it,
It
does,
might,
then maybe the jerseys
because
will stick
like
around.
the first thing I bought for C9 was a jersey, and I think that's because of the
Yeah.
the apparel. Like I have a bunch of Leafs jerseys. I love jerseys, but I know there's a lot of people who just like you don't see the value in them, and they're also one of the more expensive pieces
Mhm.
you get because of the fabric and stuff. So
And just the copyright stuff, everything.
Yeah.
All the rights. I think it's hard. It's hard to kind of compare sports jerseys and esports jerseys, I think, because I mean esports, they do they have the events and whatever, they show live events where you can go and watch normal sports.
yeah,
But I think because they're fewer and farther between and maybe more remote, not as accessible for people to access them and go see, jerseys are not as popular as regular sports team jerseys, because
Yeah, that makes
how
sense.
many hockey games there's, some nights there's 3-4 games in one night. How many people are going to go out to that game and buy a jersey to wear at the game versus League of Legends is oh, how many events do they have in a year? I don't know.
yeah.
Maybe 5. I don't know. I honestly
They
don't
have
know.
their
5, 10.
LCS, which is more like a seasonal thing.
Right.
But the big tournaments, they have All Stars, they have MSI.
I wouldn't count All Stars as a big tournament.
They,
to be
they have
honest.
MSI, Rift Rivals, and Worlds. Really.
But it's obviously less than the amount
Yeah,
of
for sure.
Yeah.
hockey games
Also,
or
jerseys
baseball
are
games.
very much like you go to a bar, you throw on your jersey kind of thing. You go to a friend's
Like
house to watch the
cultural
game.
kind of
Yeah.
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 But I wouldn't say wearing a jersey out on if I saw someone wearing a Leafs jersey on a day there wasn't a Leafs game, I'd be like, why are you wearing what? You're just, I don't know.
It's different than wearing
It's
a
not
t-shirt, a Leafs
commonplace
t-shirt.
fashion.
Yeah, it's
That's why I
associated
think-
with the event.
And that's why I think or esports jerseys won't become as big of a thing.
I agree.
The
There's
merch
not
will
as many
be,
occasions to wear them.
and that's why I think the merch will be, because it's more casual.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can wear a shirt of a brand of a player or whatever any day of the week.
Like a
which is
really-
a graphic tee.
Do you guys know 100 Thieves?
They're
Like-
huge.
Yeah, they have
Their
their
merch sells out so fast.
Yeah,
Oh, my
exactly.
gosh.
See, I really like what they're doing.
Shot did a good job branding.
I really
that.
like what they're doing. They just make casual streetwear clothes with
Clean streetwear.
with 100 T stuff on them.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
No, I think you're right. I think it's because jerseys you wear them for the event, and with there being less events, there's less reasons to wear them.
That's
And-
actually a great
yeah.
example, because
100
when
Thieves,
they
yeah.
redid their 100 Thieves sweaters, I was like, dude, these look sick. I want to buy one. Do I know anything about 100 Thieves? Do I watch anyone from 100 Thieves house or whatever they're...
yeah,
No. But I was like,
But
damn, that sweater
their
looks
stuff look
clean.
good. Yeah, yeah, they definitely have the apparel game
hmm
down.
But yeah, I wouldn't buy a jersey.
Yeah.
no, I wouldn't buy a 100 Thieves jersey either.
Yeah.
But I would buy one of their sweaters, right?
Yeah. No, I think you guys are right. Jerseys are.
It's gonna be interesting.
We'll see.
I think that's everything for news.
Sure, yeah.
So just to give a little bit of heads up to the viewers, we'll be taking I think 2-week break.
What?
Next week is Christmas.
Right.
Holidays schedule. People are busy, and the week after, I don't think with everyone's busy schedules that we'll be able to record before the new year. We might have an episode coming out that week later in the week. We haven't decided yet. But that episode will have our boy Nick back in color and bigger than this picture. And we will all be sharing our thoughts on 2019 as a whole. We will all be bringing to the table, including Ethan, a 10-game list of
geez.
our favorite games of the decade.
Yeah.
Or most impactful or whatever. We're going to have different flair on our list, and we will all be coming in with our own personalized game of the year that
Game of the year.
we played in 2019. So it doesn't have to
Mhm.
be a game that was released in 2019,
Yep.
a game that we played through this calendar year that we thought was our favorite experience. So it'll be a whole celebratory episode. But yeah, that won't be for at least a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks.
I'm gonna try to
from
dress
now.
up a little bit.
Yeah,
Why not? I'm gonna like maybe put on a tie. We'll see what happens.
do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll update when when we're going to be recording the next episode on Twitter or something, so people can know. But those are the plans to end the year off. I guess if we don't come back before, thank you for another great year.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of fun.
Well said. Mhm.
This has been a full year for us. We started in the summer of 2018,
Whew.
so this is we're wrapping up a full year. It's been a lot of fun. We're now streaming, which is a huge
Yeah.
upgrade. We've got our own like official studio.
Uh-huh.
Thanks to Ethan setting this up in
Studio.
our basement. It's been a lot of fun. I look forward to 2020. So
That's it.
I guess that's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to this episode of the Three Can Play Podcast. This has been episode number 75. It's been myself, I think. It's been myself, Nick P,
I'm
and
so happy you did that.
Ethan and Brad Crably Crab. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. With peace and love. Wait, hold on. Before I say that, you can catch us on Instagram and Twitter
Hey.
at Three Can Play Podcast. With much
Exclamation
peace
point
and love.
socials. It doesn't work.
Three Can Play out.